Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto was Pokémon Ninja Trainers' harem. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by thedarkpokemaster and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Chapter 1: A New World, a New Home. Sakura was running the fastest that she had ever done in her life so she could try and stop her two teammates' attacks. Sasuke with his Chidori and Naruto with his Rasengan. Sakura knew that they would kill each other with this attack. So Sakura did the only thing that she could think of when running and stopping them from killing each other. "Stop it, you guys, we're friends," Sakura yelled with tears in her eyes. Kakashi saw this happening and tried to get to them in time and stop their attacks from killing all three students. But, unfortunately, Sasuke's Chidori and Naruto's Rasengan were now too close for him to prevent the two jutsus from combining and killing all three. "No, I can't stop them in time, they're going to kill each other," Kakashi thought. All Kakashi saw the Rasengan and Chidori hit each other, throwing Naruto and Sasuke back, knocking Sasuke out. Naruto's Rasengan was stronger than Sasuke's Chidori, but Kakashi knew Sakura was in the most danger of the three, seeing as she had nothing to protect herself with, and closed her eyes. Before Sakura knew what was happening, the two attacks met, and a deep violet portal was forming. Sakura had little time to do anything but grab hold of something, a metal pipe on the hospital roof. All Sakura could do now was hold on for dear life as she looked at Kakashi, who had hold of Sasuke while Naruto was a little closer to her and was trying to get to her. He could see that Sakura was losing her grip as she only had her left hand on it, and Naruto could see this. "I can't hold on anymore, somebody, please help me," Sakura yelled with tears as she lost her grip and was then immediately sent flying towards the portal and knew that this was the end for her. "No, Sakura-chan, I'm coming," he yelled as he dove in front of her and grabbed her left hand with his right hand. Sakura just looked at Naruto right into his eyes, and she could see that he was not going to let her go. "Don't worry, Sakura-chan, I won't let you go," Naruto yelled. "Please, Naruto, if you don't let me go, you'll die too," she yelled. "I don't care. I won't let someone I love die like this," he yelled, but Sakura knew that Naruto hurt his left arm. "Naruto, you need to let me go, please," Sakura yelled as more tears came down her face as she saw Naruto lost his grip. Kakashi just helplessly watched as the two were pulled into the vortex, both screaming with their eyes closed. The two young genins were soon gone as he saw the vortex closing, and Kakashi didn't know what to do next. He knew that other people must have seen what went on and must have seen the two genins pulled in. Just then, two Umbu came to see what had happened. "What happened here? The Hokage saw this vortex thing?" one of the Umbu in a cat mask asked. Just then, two Umbu came to see what had happened. "What happened here? The Hokage saw this vortex thing?" one of the Umbu in a cat mask asked. Kakashi then started to tell the two Umbu what had happened with Sasuke and Naruto, and that Sakura tried to stop them. Naruto tried his best to save Sakura from death, which still pulling them into this vortex. Kakashi watched as Sakura and Naruto were getting pulled into the vortex because of Naruto and Sasuke's Rasengan and Chidori. "We have to tell the Hokage about this. You take the Uchiha inside the hospital while I'll take Kakashi to see the Hokage," the Umbu said to the man with a bear mask on and looked to Kakashi. With that, all four left the roof while the Umbu, who had Sasuke, went downstairs. The other Umbu, along with Kakashi, went to see the Hokage. Later on, Kakashi told Tsunade the same thing that he said to the Umbu regarding what happened. Tsunade was angry at the two for fighting, but on the inside she smiled that Naruto did everything he could to save her, even telling her that he loved her. But something inside her heart told her that the two were still alive. "So, what do you want us to do, Lady Hokage?" Kakashi asked, trying to mask the pain of his two students' death. Tsunade could see this all too easily what Kakashi felt. It must be hard for him, first losing his team and now his two students. Tsunade thought to herself. "So, Tsunade, when shall we hold the funeral for my two students?" Kakashi asked. Tsunade just smiled at Kakashi. "There is not going to be one, Kakashi, as something tells me they are not dead," Tsunade said, smiling. Kakashi was surprised at what she had just said to him, that they were not dead. "What do you mean, Lady Hokage?" he said, still very shocked at what she said. Tsunade only gave a light chuckle at this. Naruto is too stubborn to die, and he would never let anything happen to Sakura. Tsunade then got out of her chair and looked out the window. "I don't know where they are right now, but my heart tells me that they are alive," Tsunade said to him. "I just hope that you are right about that, Lady Hokage," Kakashi said as he left the room. Meanwhile, back with the two young genins, they were still asleep or somewhat unconscious from what happened to them. Slowly Sakura started to wake up, and she slowly looked around her to only see a white corridor all around her. Sakura also saw the blue light swish past her like she was moving. Am I dead, and is this heaven? She asked herself. Sakura then looked to her right to see Naruto, who, like her, was still unconscious. Naruto, wake up, please, are you alright? She asked. As she slowly floated over towards Naruto, she started to shake him, trying to get a response from him, but Naruto wasn't waking up. However, this only started to worry Sakura that something could be wrong with him, but what? Was all Sakura could think about right now. Were they dead or were they not? Sakura didn't know. Sakura then remembered what Naruto said to her. Did Naruto say he loves me? She asked herself. Just then, her inner self appears in her head. Even though Naruto can be an idiot, Naruto came through and risked his own life to save us, inner Sakura said while thinking. I know I'm just too shocked, but what should I do? Sakura asked herself. I guess I will have to wait and see what the future brings, Sakura thought to herself. Just then, Naruto started to wake up, and like Sakura, he too looked around, but he didn't see Sakura at first. Sakura-chan, where are you? Naruto asked, not knowing that she was behind him. Sakura just put her hand on his shoulder. I'm right here, Naruto, and don't worry, I'm fine, she told him with a smile. Naruto only smiled at Sakura. Well, I'm just happy that you're alright, Sakura-chan. I don't know what I would do if something happened to you, Naruto told her when suddenly both he and Sakura found themselves in a long corridor. Sakura then looked around and saw what looked like the basement of a boiler room or a power plant's sublevel, with pipes running across the ceiling and the floor being flooded over with water. Sakura didn't know what was going on, which scared her more than anything. She looked over to Naruto to see if he knew what was wrong. Sakura knew that just by looking at his face that Naruto knew where they were right now. Naruto, where are we? She asked. Naruto never got a chance to say anything to her as the two heard evil laughter coming from the darkness. Naruto looked back to Sakura, seeing she was still holding on to his right arm with fear in her eyes. Naruto then looked at her. Sakura, I want you to stay here and wait until I return, and please don't follow me, alright? He told before walking off to the QB. Once he was gone, Sakura didn't know why Naruto wanted her to stay here, but something told her that she had to find out what Naruto was hiding. So Sakura slowly went after him, making sure Naruto didn't know that she was following him. It didn't take long until she saw Naruto stop in front of a big cage door, which only confused her as to why he was here. Why is Naruto standing in front of this cage? She asked as she looked on. What do you want, brat? I'm trying to sleep here, an evil voice said to Naruto, but only made Sakura tremble at the sound. I want to know what's going on here, Fox. Why did Sakura and I get dragged in here? More impotently, why was Sakura-chan dragged in my mind? Naruto shouted at the fox, asking what he knew. All Sakura heard was laughter from the thing that was in the cage. So that little pink-haired harpy is here too then? Oh, this is good. I may not be able to kill you, brat, but I can kill her, the QB said, laughing, moving closer to Naruto, so he was now out of the shadows. Seeing this not only scared Sakura but confused her at what Sakura's seeing, the QB or the nine-tailed fox demon that the fourth Hokage killed. Sakura wondered what it was doing inside Naruto, but she didn't like how it talked about her or what it wanted to do. Sakura then heard Naruto yell at the fox. If you even touch her, I'll make sure that you die, he yelled. Sakura just smiled at what Naruto said, but the QB only laughed at him. Don't forget, brat. The only way that I can die is if you die, the QB said, laughing as he looked right at her with an evil smile. He knows that I'm here, Sakura thought to herself. You are such a fool, brat, you didn't even know that she followed you here to me, the QB said, laughing. You might as well come out, girl. Not only can I see you, but I can smell you too, he finished off with a laugh. Naruto slowly looked back and saw the girl he loved was now looking at the QB in fear in her eyes. Sakura, what are you doing here? I told you to wait back there, he told her. I wanted to know what was going on, Naruto, and now I know you have the QB in you, she said to him. But the way Naruto looked at her, she didn't hate him or was scared of him. Sakura was mainly just hurt that he never told her. Naruto then saw the tears go down her eyes. Why didn't you tell me, Naruto? I thought we were friends, she yelled. Naruto just moved closer to her. Sakura, I didn't want you to hate me as most of the village did, he explained to her. I thought that if I told you about the QB, you would hate me too and wouldn't want anything to do with me," Naruto said to her, trying not to cry. Sakura then knew why people always hated or ignored him. It wasn't because of his pranks or how loud Naruto acted. It was because he had the nine-tailed fox in him. That's why he did all the things that he did, so that people didn't see Naruto as a demon but as a normal kid. Sakura still hurt that Naruto never told her about this, but she knew that if her life happened like Naruto's, she wouldn't tell people too. "It's alright, Naruto. I don't hate you, Naruto. You're a hero that keeps the fox back so that he never gets free," she said to him with a smile. "I don't think that I would ever be able to handle something like that. I would be like Gaara or just let the fox out by now." Meanwhile, the QB was laughing at the two. "Is this over yet? All this emotion makes me sick. Get out of here, brat, before I decided to tell the pink-haired harpy what you did," the QB said with a chuckle. "What does that fox mean?" Sakura thought to herself. The QB just laughed when he saw her confused face. "I guess you don't know then, do you? Well, let me tell you then, since I love to see the brat suffer," he said, laughing at her and Naruto. Naruto already knew what the QB was going to say. "Do you remember when the Uchiha brat wanted to kiss your forehead?" he asked her as Sakura remembered what he said to her. Sakura then flashed back to what Sasuke said to her when they had become a team so long ago. It was a moment she loved. "Sakura, you have such a large and charming forehead. It makes me want to kiss it," she remembered Sasuke telling her. Just kidding, that's something Naruto would say. It was what she remembered, and it still confused her a lot. The QB only laughed even more at this. "You still don't get it, do you? Well, I guess I'll have to tell you then. It was Naruto," he said with a foxy grin. "He did what?" she asked. "Why would he do that to me?" Sakura asked, but remembered what Sasuke or Naruto asked about him. "He just wanted to know what I thought of him. Oh God, he heard that I hate him, and I told him that he was annoying. But he's still nice to me. He must love me even after all I've done to him," she thought to herself. "Why is he still so nice to me?" "It's alright, Naruto. I understand why you did it," she said. The two genins were pulled out of Naruto's mind and saw the same white corridor and the light blue light that passed them. Only then did the two notice that the white passage was getting even brighter, so bright then they had to close their eyes. "Naruto, I can't see!" Sakura yelled as she covered her eyes while Naruto did the same. The next thing they knew, they were both on a dirt road with some trees around them. It was also a beautiful sunny day from what they saw. The two genins just looked around, wondering where they were right now. "So, Sakura-chan, where do you think we are?" Naruto asked, scratching the back of his head. Sakura just looked around. She didn't know anything about this place. "I don't think we're in Konoha anymore, Naruto," she said, thinking where they could be right now. Both Naruto and Sakura watched as it started to rain, and it was raining hard, which only made Sakura angry. "Oh well, this is just perfect now, we're getting wet," she yelled. As this was going on, the two ninjas heard someone yelling at them. "Hey, get off the road!" the voice yelled at them. Both Naruto and Sakura saw a boy who was 10 years old riding an orange bike with a basket. The two couldn't see him that well, but they saw he had a hat on the also, so that something was chasing him, which also caught up to him. It was then the bike that he was on went over the hill, but he fell onto the road that Naruto and Sakura were on. The two ninjas went running up to him to see if he was alright. Sakura was shocked at the yellow animal she saw. On the other hand, Naruto went over to the kid who had just fallen to the ground. "Hey, are you alright?" Naruto asked. Naruto saw that this kid had strange clothes on him. Naruto saw that he was wearing a red and white cap on his head, with green gloves on his hands, a blue and white jacket on him with a black t-shirt on. He also had light blue trousers on, a pair of white and black trainers too, and on his back was a green backpack. He then looked up at Naruto, and the blonde ninja saw 2 Z marks on his face. "Yeah, I'm alright," he said. The kid started to look around for something until he saw Sakura holding what he was looking for and soon found it with a fearful look on his face. "Oh no, Pikachu!" he yelled. "Is he alright?" he asked. Sakura only nodded her head as everyone looked at the flock of birds that were coming at them. Sakura then saw that the boy with the cape took out a strange white and red ball with a black strip around it and a button. "Pikachu, get inside," he said as he pushed the button, making the ball bigger. While Pikachu just looked at him. "I know you're afraid of going in there, but if you're inside then maybe I can save you. Please, Pikachu, please listen to me and go inside after that, then after that, trust me," he said as he gave the ball to Sakura. "Please make sure he goes in?" he asked while Pikachu just wondered what he was doing. Pika. Without speaking a word, he got up in front of the birds with his arms spread, protecting Pikachu and both Naruto and Sakura. Spearows, do you know who I am? I'm Ash from Pallet Town, and I'm destined to be the world's #1 Pokémon master. Ash yelled at them. So, I can't be defeated, you Spearow. Both Naruto and Sakura were shocked at what he said, and at the things he said. Pikachu was looking at his trainer. I'm going to capture and defeat you all, you hear me? Ash continued to tell all the Spearows, which shocked even Pikachu. Come and get me. Pikachu, go inside the Pokeball. It's the only way, he yelled while Pikachu just looked at the Pokeball. With that, the Spearows all started to fly towards him. Everyone watched this in shock while Pikachu, seeing this act happening, jumped out of Sakura's arms and went running to Ash, wanting to help. Lighting was all anyone could hear right now. Everything went in slow motion as the flock of Spearows went for Ash, as was Pikachu, while both Naruto and Sakura tried to get Pikachu only to see him jump on Ash's shoulders, who looked back at his little friend. Acting quickly, Pikachu jumped right in between Ash and the Spearows just as the lighting hit Pikachu, and he used the Thunderbolt on the Spearows. Watching this, Naruto and Sakura were right behind Ash, and they too got caught in the Thunderbolt along with Ash. However, this sent the three quickly flying backward all over the hillside. You could see Pikachu's Thunderbolt, and how big it was. Soon the rain stopped, and the sun came out from the clouds. The three humans slowly woke up to the sun shining on them. Ash just smiled at Pikachu. Well, we beat them, Ash said weakly while Pikachu just nodded. Chew. While Naruto and Sakura slowly got up, making sure they were alright when all three humans and Pikachu heard something above them. To see a bird-like Pokemon flying over their heads, the three noticed its body covered in a gold aura that was also heading towards the rainbow. Ash then moved to look at it, not knowing that his Pokédex was out. What's that? He asked. Just then, the Pokédex went off. There is no data. There are still Pokemon not yet identified. It said once hearing this, and Ash looked at that moment it started talking as the Pokemon went over the rainbow and disappeared. The two ninjas just looked at the Pokédex, wondering what it was as they have never seen anything like this before. Sakura then looked at the bike that Ash was riding before he met them. She then looked at Ash as he came over to the two. Hey, I just want to say thank you for helping me out, Ash said, holding on to Pikachu. Oh, by the way, my name is Ash Ketchum, and I'm going to be a Pokemon master, Ash said, smiling at the two. Sakura just smiled back. Well, I'm Sakura Haruno, and this is Naruto Uzumaki, she told him. Nice to meet the two of you, so what town do you come from? He asked. Although both Naruto and Sakura just looked at each other, not knowing what they should tell him, the two looked at each other, wondering if they should even telling Ash since the two ninjas were, for now, at least presently trapped in this world without a way back home. Well, you see, the thing is Ash, we're not from this world, Sakura said to Ash as the three made their way to Viridian City to help Pikachu. What do you mean? Ash asked the two. Well, you see, the thing is Sakura then explained what happened to them, where they were from, but they left out the QB. Ash was shocked at what they had told him that the two kids in front of him were ninjas. Wow, so I guess that you're both stuck here then? Well, until we can find a way to get you back home, you can come with me, Ash said with a smile on his face. Sakura looked over to Naruto, who just had a big smile on his face. Sure, we'll go with it. I mean, it could be fun, Naruto yelled, still smiling. But could you tell us what a Pokemon is? Naruto asked. I want to know that as well, Ash, Sakura asked, smiling. Soon Ash told the two ninjas everything he knew about Pokemon, and how he didn't get off to a good start since he had woken up late. Wait, so the only reason that you got Pikachu was that you were sleeping in late? Sakura said, shocked. Ash just laughed. Yeah, just let's say when I got Pikachu, he decided to give me a thunder shock. Sakura then remembered something about the bike she saw. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, but your bike got toasted, Sakura said, but saw Ash go pale in the face at what she said. One thought was going on in his head right now. That girl with the orange hair is going to kill me, Ash thought to himself. With that, the three humans went on their way to Viridian City. None of them knew of the people they would meet, or the evils that they would have to face on their adventures, or the Pokemon they would see. Chapter 2, Pokemon Emergency. It was sundown in Viridian City now, and everything was beautiful and peaceful for all the people who lived in the city. Just then, a voice started talking over the speaker to everyone that was in Viridian City. Attention citizens of Viridian City! Attention citizens of Viridian City! We have reports of possible Pokemon thieves in our area. Be on the lookout for suspicious-looking strangers. I repeat, Be on the lookout for suspicious looking. Just then the woman with blue hair stopped. Her name was Officer Jenny. She looked out the window, only to see Ash, Naruto, and Sakura along with Pikachu. Speak of the devil, she said in shock as she watches the three running as fast as they could. Jenny could see that the three were very dirty from the rainstorm, and the three youngsters had just fallen into the mud, from what she could tell. As the three passed by, Jenny had grabbed Ash by the back of his jacket. Hold it! She yelled at him while Ash, Naruto, and Sakura looked at her, confused by why she had stopped them. And where do the three of you think you're going with that Pokemon? With that, Jenny let go, while Ash looked at her, but Ash was not at all happy. This is my Pokemon, and it's hurt, and I need to get it to the hospital right away, Ash yelled. Jenny then bent down to look at Pikachu and realized that he was telling the truth. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought that you might be stealing it. Just show me your I.D, and you can go, she asked him. However, this only confused the young trainer as well as the two ninjas. I.D, I don't have any, you've seen me, and Pikachu just came from Pallet, and well, but he was interrupted by Jenny. You know, you three are the sixth person I've seen from Pallet today, Jenny said to the three young kids. Both Naruto and Sakura gave a nervous laugh. Oh, Naruto and I aren't from Pallet Town. You see, we found Ash was in trouble and decided to help him. It was the best we could do, Sakura said, knowing that she had to do all the talking just in case Naruto said something that he shouldn't. Jenny then looked at Sakura and smiled at her. Oh, that's all right. It was then that Jenny looked back at Ash. You mean that Gary and the others also came here too? Ash asked, sound a little depressed at this. You know it's bizarre for someone to carry a Pokemon around in his arms and not in a poke ball? How do I know that you didn't steal that Pokemon? Since you don't have any I.D? She asked with a smile. Please let us through. We wouldn't steal any Pokemon, Ash said. Ash is right. We know that stealing is wrong, Naruto shouted while Sakura looked at the wanted poster with two people on it. Sakura could see two people but not their eyes. The woman had long red hair while the man had blue hair. Both of them were wearing a uniform with a large red letter R on their chest. Please, I need to hurry so I can get Pikachu to the hospital, please, miss, Ash said to Jenny when she saw the Pokédex in Ash's jacket pocket. Hey, what's that in your pocket? She asked as she saw something in Ash's blue jacket. Ash was confused as he took out his Pokédex. What? Oh, you mean this? He asked and showed it to her. But Jenny only took it out of his hands and smiled. This is perfect. This will solve everything, a Pokédex, she yelled, showing it to no one at all. Hey, Sakura, do you who she's showing the Pokédex to? Naruto asked, while Sakura just shook her head. Let's see if you're the real deal, she said as she pushed a few buttons. Just then, a robotic voice went off. I'm Dexter, a Pokédex programmed by Professor Oak for Pokemon trainer Ash Ketchum of the town of Pallet. My function is to provide Ash with information and advice concerning Pokemon and their training. If lost or stolen, I cannot be replaced. Ash was shocked at this, and from the look that he had on his face, it was as if he didn't know that his Pokédex was his ID. Wow, I didn't know that my Pokédex was my ID. Can we please take Pikachu to the Pokemon Center now? Ash asked with a weak smile. Don't worry, and I can get you there in no time at all, she said, giving the three a wink. I'll be right back. Sometime later, Jenny came out with her motorcycle with a sidecar, which shocked Sakura and Naruto since they had never seen anything like this. Jenny then looked at the three, thinking about how she could take all three to the Pokemon Center. Well, two of you will have to go in the sidecar while one of you holds on to me, Jenny said to the three. After some time deciding, Ash and Sakura got in the sidecar while Naruto holding on to Jenny. Sakura whispered to Naruto, saying, Don't do anything perverted. Naruto nodded to her, not wanting to get her angry. With everyone on, Jenny got ready. Now sit back, hold on, and don't yell, Jenny told them, but as she went speeding off, the three yelled in fright, more so with Naruto and Sakura, since this was their first time on a motorcycle or anything that went this fast. Ash used to go on fast rides when he was little, so he was used to it, but he was shocked. As Jenny drove off, the smoke from her motorcycle went into the face of a young girl who was coughing from it going into her face. The girl had orange hair tied up into a side ponytail, wearing little blue shorts, a yellow top, and red suspenders. The girl was carrying a burnout bike over her head, showing that she was pretty strong to do this. Hey, what's the big idea? Get back here! She yelled, going after them. Little did anyone know was that a hawk pulled off the wanted poster as it slowly pulled into a hot air balloon where two people looked at it. A wanted poster, how faltering, said the woman with long red hair, Her name was Jessie. Faltering this poster makes me look terrible, said the man with blue hair, whose name was James. Then, you should be happy that the photographer captured the real you, Jessie said to her comrade. Exactly, James said, getting out a blue rose out while discarding the poster he had. We'll show these fools, Jessie said to James with slight anger. The people of Viridian City will be sorry they ever saw this face, James told her. Just then, a cat-like Pokemon opened its eyes and started to talk. We're all sorry to see your face, just remember to keep your mind on what we need to do, and that to get rare and unusual Pokemon, don't forget Meowth. Absolutely, Jessie said, understanding what their mission was. But of course, James replied too. And just remember, I'm the top cat, Meowth said, turning around. You got it, James said to the cat. Meowth. It was night now, and the three young friends were now almost at the Pokemon Center, as all three people in the motorcycle could now see the building. Both ninjas were shocked to see a building this big. The two thought that only the Hokage building was big, or the hospital. There it is, she yelled to the three. The three youngsters thought that Jenny would stop and let them off at the bottom of the stars. But the three were very wrong as she started to driving faster than before, and with that, she made her motorcycle jump up to the stars. And he gave both Sakura and Naruto the fright of their lives as the two could feel their hearts beating very fast. Naruto could hear the Kyuubi laughing at him. Once the motorcycle hit the ground and started to slide across, Naruto saw that the bike was heading toward glass doors and thought that they were going to smash into them. Naruto and Sakura were both shocked as they opened up on their own. All the two could think right now was, what else do they have in this world, since they were amazed by the technology. Once the motorcycle had stopped at the front desk of the Pokemon Center, where an angry nurse with dark pink was looking at them, she wasn't happy with the group. We do have a driveway, you know, she said, not too pleased at the four. This is a Pokemon emergency, Jenny yelled. Please help it, Ash yelled. When the pink-haired nurse saw Pikachu, she instantly went to work and called for a Chansey and a stretcher for Pikachu. When Chansey wheeled Pikachu through a pair of giant metal doors, the nurse turned her attention to Ash. It looks like a Pikachu. We need to get it in the ER fast, the nurse said. We'll begin the treatment right away, she said as she put her clothes on. Ash then went up to the nurse and wanted to ask her something, but she beat Ash over what he would say. Who are you? She asked. This is Ash, the Pokemon trainer, Jenny said as she pointed to him. Ash then walked up, hoping he could help. If there's anything that I can do, just ask me, please, Ash begged her. But the nurse didn't look very happy. Yes, if you plan on being a Pokemon trainer, then you don't let your Pokemon battle until it's in this condition. But you don't even know what happened? Ash said to her. That doesn't matter now, what's past is past. Now we have to heal your Pikachu, she yelled, but then her face softened. Don't worry, everything will be fine. Now if you want, we have some bathrooms for you to use since it looks like you three need it, she said to them. Well, I guess that my job is now done. Jenny, as she went to leave, she remembered that her motorcycle was in the lobby. Oh, will you look at that? I left my motorcycle parked at the front desk, Jenny said. Next time use the driveway. The nurse said. The nurse then left to help Pikachu. Ash, you have to wait in the waiting room. Sakura then went and thanked her, but since she didn't know her name, she asked. Thanks, miss, sorry. I didn't catch your name? Sakura said. Oh, I'm so sorry about that, the name's Joy. With that, she left the room. Sakura then looked at the two boys behind her and smiled at them both. Well, boys, I'm off to have a bath, and I don't want you peeping on me, Naruto, she warned her friend. Ash was confused at first, and he decided not to even think about asking Naruto what she meant, so Ash then sat down. It didn't take long before it got to 8 o'clock when a green Pidgey came out, telling them it's now curfew time. By this time, both Naruto and Sakura had a bath while Ash waited for Pikachu to come out. At the time, Naruto was looking around the Pokemon Center while Sakura sat next to Ash to comfort him the best she could. Don't worry, Ash. You heard what Joy said, she'd do all she can, she said in a soft voice to him. Ash only slowly looked at her and smiled the best he could. Thanks, Sakura, Ash said as he then looked at the video phones. I think I'll call home, Ash said as he went over to the phone and called his mom. I hope Mom is still up. Meanwhile, in Pallet and Ash Ketchum's house, the phone rang but just said ring, ring, ring phone call. At that time, a woman was wearing a pink bathrobe and a pink towel around her head. She also had a face mask. Her name was Delia Ketchum, and she was the mother of Ash Ketchum. She picked up the phone. Hello, Ketchum residents. Hello, Mom, it's me, Ash said on the other side. Oh, hi, honey, is everything okay? Where are you, Ash? She asked. The Pokémon Center in Viridian City, Ash said to her, but was still worried about Pikachu. Delia was shocked by what he to her. You're already in Viridian City? It took your father 4 days to get there when he started, Delia said. Oh, he's going to be so proud of you. You're the apple of his eye. Yeah, I'm a rotten apple, he said with a frown on his face. Oh, Ash, don't get discouraged. She told him it was then that Sakura came up to him to try and help him. She's right, you know, Ash, just have faith, Sakura said with a smile. What the two didn't know was that Delia was smiling at the two. Oh, Ash, I didn't know that you had a girlfriend, she said, smiling at the two, thinking that they were a couple. When she said this to the two, they were left shocked by what Delia told them. Even Naruto heard what she said to the two young friends. Both Ash and Sakura only looked at each other. They had their thoughts going on in their head at what Delia told them. Why does she think that Ash and I are together? I mean, I've only just met him, Sakura thought. Mom, why do you also have to do this to me? He thought to himself, not happy at what she had said. Mom, the two of us aren't together. I mean I just meet Sakura and her friend Naruto, Ash said to her. He's right, Mrs. Ketchum. We're only friends, the pink-haired girl said. Oh my. Sorry, dear, I merely thought that my little boy had found himself a girlfriend, Delia told the girl, still embarrassed. Delia decided to change the topic. Anyway, keep up the good work, son, and don't forget to change your underwear. Every single day, she told him with a smile before hanging up. Ash couldn't help but feel more embarrassed than before at what his mom just said to him, and right in front of his new friends. Naruto couldn't help but laugh at what he heard his mom tell him, while Sakura, who tried not to laugh, but Sakura giggled softly. Mom. After that, Ash walked away from the video phones until he saw a stone tablet with 4 Pokemon on them. Hey, you two, look at the top right of the tablet, Ash said to the two as they came running up to him and saw what he was talking about and are surprised. The two ninjas were shocked at what they were looking at, and it was the same Pokemon they saw before they go to Viridian City. The three were so confused at this, and what this could all mean anyway. Just then, the three heard the phone ring on the Pokemon Center computer. Hello, this is Ash. Who's calling? He asked. Just the three heard a voice behind them. Over here, Ash, it's Professor Oak. Don't you recognize me? No, Professor, I didn't recognize the back of your head, Ash said as the three saw Oak look back at them. Oops, wrong camera, Oak said as he sorted out the screen. It went blank at first until the three could see his face. There, I just spoke with your mother, and she told me that you made it to the Pokemon Center in Viridian City, is that correct? He asked. Of course, I'm in Viridian City's Pokemon Center, Professor. I wouldn't be able to talk to you if I wasn't here, Ash said to him. You couldn't be talking to me if you were. Oh, I see, I dialed the Pokemon Center in Viridian City, and you picked up, Oak said. Yeah, because that is where I am, Ash said, while Naruto and Sakura just watched the two go on. It was then that Oak went to tell Ash about the other trainers. You know, Ash, the other Pokemon trainers who left have also got there too. With no problem at all, and I'm surprised that you got there so soon. You know, when you left with Pikachu, I had my doubts, he said to him while Ash just looked down in shame. But when my grandson Gary said you wouldn't have a single new Pokemon by the time you got to Viridian City, I bet him $1 million that he'd be wrong, Oak said, smiling. Ash was very nervous about this. Well, you know, money isn't everything, right? Why do I even bother? Oak asked as he turned his back on Ash as he said this, feeling dejected. But I did see a flying Pokemon like that one, and it flew right over the rainbow, he told Oak as he pointed at the Pokemon that he saw that was right above him. Don't talk such nonsense, Ash. People have looked their entire lives looking for this Pokemon. But he did, sir, we saw it too, Sakura said to him. Well, who are you then, my dear? I've never seen you before or given you a starter Pokemon? He asked her. Well, Professor, you see, I meet Sakura and her friend when I was on my way here, Ash then went on and told him what Naruto and Sakura told him. Even the two ninjas said what had happened to them, and how they ended up here. Once they had finished telling him what they know except the QB, that would come later. Well, that is an interesting story, Oak said, shocked, and looked at the two, and he could tell that they thought he could help them get home. I'm sorry to say that I can't help you. I don't know how to get you back to where you belong, he told the two and saw that Sakura was trying her best not to cry. Hey Sakura-chan, we'll find a way back on. I promise you that's my ninja way, and Naruto Uzumaki never goes back on his promise," he yelled while smiling. "Thanks, Naruto," she said as she smiled at him. "Well, anyway, I think you should train Pokemon while you're here, plus it's a great way to hide your identity as ninja from another world," Oak told them. "Because if what you told me is right, then anyone who knows what you could do will want to use you," Oak said to the two. Oak then looked at Ash. "Ash, there should be 2 Pokédex in the second drawer from the left there." Ash went into the drawer and found a few Pokédex, and he took out 2, both were red, just like Ash's. "Okay, put one into the slot right at the phone," Oak told him before looking at Sakura next. "Alright, then your name is Sakura, right?" Oak asked her. Sakura nodded at him. "Yes, Sakura Haruno," she told him. At the same time, Oak worked on Sakura's info. After the Pokédex information was all sorted out for Sakura, the Pokédex popped out, and Sakura took it. Oak then did the same thing with Naruto. "Alright then, to 2 of you are now Pokemon trainers. I just wish I had a Pokemon to give you right now, but I'm sure that with Ash's help, you'll get some in no time," Oak said to the 2 and smiled. Just then, the doorbell rang. "Ah, there's my pizza coming. It was very nice talking to you and the 2 of you also anyway. Good luck," he said to them before going to his pizza. The 3 were confused at this but ignored what he said about the pizza he had, but just then, they heard a girl's voice go off. "Now I've got you," she said, not too happy. However, Ash looked back to see who it was, but he had a good idea who it was standing behind him. "Oh no, it's her. Well, Ash, you are so dead, now that girl will kill me for what I did to her bike," Ash thought. Both Naruto and Sakura looked at the girl standing behind them and saw a girl with orange hair. What shocked the 2 was how strong the girl was, as she was currently holding the bike up in the air with just one hand. "I knew that I'd find you here," the girl said, angry. Naruto just looked at the bike, not knowing what had happened to it. "Hey, what happened to your bike?" Naruto asked. The girl only looked at Naruto and made a face that scared him to the bone. "This is all that's left after that little loser there stole it," she yelled as she pointed to Ash. "That he used to save his Pokemon. Now I can see why your Pokemon is in the..." But she was soon quickly cut off as she started to lose her balance and soon went crashing to the ground. When Ash saw this, he went running over to her, and he saw that she was rubbing her head. "Here, let me help you?" he asked as he offers her his hand, but she only slapped it away. "I don't need your help, and you're going to pay for what you did to my bike," she said, getting back on her feet. "I'll make up for it. I promise I will. It's just, I can't do anything right now, not until my Pikachu is better," he said to her as he looked at the room Pikachu was in, as they were now worried. Just then, the girl's face turned soft. "Is it serious?" she asked. "I think so," Ash said, still looking at the room that Pikachu was in right now. "Oh, sorry, I'm Ash Ketchum," he said to her. The girl only smiled at him. "By the way, my name is Misty Waterflower," she said to Ash. Misty then looked at the other 2 and smiled. "So, who are you 2 then?" she asked. Naruto just smiled at her with his fox grin. "I'm Naruto Uzumaki, believe it!" he yelled at Misty. Sakura just sighed at Naruto before going up to her. "Hi, I'm Sakura Haruno." "Nice to meet you, Misty," Sakura said with a smile. "So where do the 2 of you come from then? I'm sure that you both don't come from Pallet Town as Ash did," Misty said, looking at him. Both ninjas just looked at each other, and then they nodded to each other, and they started to tell Misty everything they said to Ash. Once the 2 were done, Misty was shocked by the story they told her. Just then, Nurse Joy came out of the surgery room with Pikachu. All 4 ran over to her, hoping that it was good news. Nurse Joy looked up at them and smiled, and the 4 knew that Pikachu would be alright. "The operation was a success. Your Pikachu is resting now. It's a good thing you got it here on time, so he should be fine now," she told them with a smile on her face. Hearing this, everyone smiled at the news, happy that Pikachu would be alright. Nurse Joy then looked over at Ash. "Pikachu needs to go into the recovery room. You should go in with it, Ash." Ash only smiled at her before looking at Misty. "Look, I'm sorry about your bike, but I'm going to need some time to make things right." "No way, I fell for that last time, Ash." "Oh well, it doesn't matter right now. You go with Pikachu, and we'll sort this out later, alright?" she told him. Just then, an alarm went off in the Pokemon Center, and everyone was wondering what was going on as Jenny warned the people in the city. "Your attention, please. Our Viridian City radar sensors have detected an aircraft belonging to a group of Pokemon thieves. If you have a Pokemon in your care, please be careful." Up above the Pokémon Center, the same cat-like balloon. I guess we woke up this sleepy dump, Jessie said, looking down at the Pokémon Center. And how dare they act like we're criminals? They should welcome Team Rocket, James said, not happy at what they called them. Well, we'll show them to respect that name, Jessie said to him. Meowth, and when we snatch their Pokémon, they'll know that I'm the top cat, Meowth said. We know, Meowth, we know, the two humans told Meowth. Ekans, coughing attack. Both Jessie and James yelled together as they throw two of their Pokeballs to the Pokémon Center glass top. As the two Pokeballs went smashing through the glass, they landed on the ground, releasing the Pokémon that was inside. Soon a white light, two Pokémon came out of them. The first was a purple snake called Ekans, which had a yellow tip on the end. The other Pokémon was also purple, but it was round and had a skull and crossbone on it, meaning it was poisonous green smoke that came out of it too. This Pokémon was called Coughing. With that, the Coughing realized the green smoke everywhere. Both Naruto and Sakura were coughing, while Misty had a hand over her mouth, trying not to breathe any of the stuff in her lungs. What the? Who are they? Naruto yelled as he saw two people in the green smoke. Don't be frightened, little boy, Jessie said to him from within the mock. Allow us to introduce ourselves, James said. Jessie, to protect the world from devastation. James, to unite all peoples within our nation. Jessie, to denounce the evils of truth and love. James, to extend our reach to the stars above. Jessie. James. Jessie, Team Rocket, blasting off at the speed of light. James, surrender now or prepare to fight. Meowth. That's right. Both Naruto and Sakura were very confused about what they were talking about as Naruto and Sakura stared at each other, but they could still tell that they were not good people. What are the three of you talking about? Sakura asked. Would you look at that? The little girl is confused, Jessie mocked. How can we understand what you are going on about anyway? When we don't even know, Naruto yelled. We're here for the Pokémon? James said with a smile on his face. Ash then went to protect Pikachu. You're not getting Pikachu, Ash yelled. Both Jessie and James just laughed at this. We don't want that mouse. We only want rare and valuable Pokémon. Then why did you come here then? This place is for Pokémon that are sick, Sakura yelled at the three. Well, look at her, James. She sure does have a big mouth on her, doesn't she? Jessie said with a smirk. You're right, anyway. I say that you are lying to us, but enough of this Coughing Ekan's attack, he yelled. Coughing used the attack again, and it began to destroy some computers while Ash, Misty, Sakura, Naruto, and Nurse Joy ran from the explosion while carting Pikachu. And so they ran into one of the storage rooms where Nurse Joy locked the door. Outside, Ekans cut the power. Hey, what did they do now? Misty asked. They must have cut the power, but we have our very own Pika power, she told them with a smile. The lights came back on, and everyone saw all the Pikachu powering up the backup generator. Sakura just looked at all the Pikachu and loved them all. She knew from the few she saw already that being a Pokemon trainer would be fun. Wow, just look at all the Pikachu, Misty said. Pika, Pika, Choo, Choo, Pika, Piki, Choo, Choo, they all said. While the four young trainers looked at the Pikachu, Nurse Joy got to work on the computer to save as many Pokemon as possible. The nurse told them this would send all of the Pokemon that she had to Pewter City. Just then, Coughing smashed the doors down and crashed into the Pokeball holding shelf, where a few fell onto the floor. Quick, save those Pokeballs! Nurse Joy yelled as Ash, Naruto, and Sakura picked a few up. This is war, you three don't just hold to throw them, she yelled at the three, reminding them that they had to act fast. Ash was the first to try his luck. Alright then, Pokeball, here we go, Ash yelled and threw the Pokeball at Team Rocket. As he did this, a small Pidgey came out. Pidgey, the tiny bird, but when it saw Ekans, he flew off in fear while Team Rocket just laughed at Ash. Well, I guess it's my turn? Naruto asked. Alright, Pokeball go, Naruto yelled, but nothing came out, meaning it was empty. What? Oh come on, it's empty, Naruto yelled, not too happy at this. Well, some of them are empty, Nurse Joy said to the three. We're not going to beat them this way. We need to do something fast, Misty yelled. Alright then, my turn, Sakura yelled as she throws one Pokeball at the three, this time a Rattata, But once it was out and saw the Ikans, it ran off, which embarrassed Sakura as Team Rocket laughed at her. Well, I guess I'm going to have to take this into my own hands. You all get out of here. I'll take care of these clowns, Misty said, smiling at them. That's pretty big talk coming from such a little lady, Jessie said. Well, at least you're right about the pretty part. Thanks for the compliment, Misty said with a smile on her face. The girl thinks she's pretty, James said to Jessie. I agree with her. I think she's pretty too, pretty pathetic, Jessie said with a smirk on her face, something that Misty didn't like. Why, I'll show you Pokeball Go, Misty yelled as the Pokemon that came out was a Goldeen, which shocked everyone who saw this. If that the best she's got? Jessie asked. She's all washed up if that was her best, James said, looking at Misty, who just smiled at the two. Goldeen, return, Misty yelled as her Goldeen went back inside its Pokeball. You and I both know that a water Pokemon can't fight on land. Besides, I was just getting warmed up. Warmed up? What are you talking about? Ash asked, shocked at what she just said. Misty then looked back at Ash, Sakura, and Naruto. Just get Pikachu out of here, you three, she told them. At this point, Sakura knew what Misty was doing. Come on, you two, let's go, Sakura yelled as the two boys followed her out of the room, but Ikans and Coughing followed the three. Unfortunately, none of them were watching where they were going as they crashed into Misty's bike. However, this soon caused Pikachu to wake up from his sleep, and the yellow mouse just looked around before saying Pika, Pika. Just then, everyone saw loads of Pikachu come out of nowhere, and they all jumped on Pikachu, and not only did they shock him with a thunder shock, but also Team Rocket and their Pokemon. After they had shocked Team Rocket, Ash's Pikachu came out better than before. Everyone was happy to see that Pikachu was better, but Ash was most joyful that Pikachu was okay. Just then, Meowth flipped onto the scene. Do I have to do everything this mouse at cat food, Meowth? Just you two watch, Pikachu, you're mine, he said, walking over to Ash and Pikachu, ready to attack. At this, both Naruto and Sakura went in front of Ash and Pikachu, both wanting to keep them safe. But they heard Pikachu saying something to Ash since they didn't know what as they couldn't understand Pikachu. Ash, on the other hand, looked at Pikachu, also trying to understand what Pikachu wanted. Pika Pika? Ash asked only to see Pikachu nodded his head and say Pika at him. Pika Pika power? Ash asked once again, and once again, Pikachu nodded. Pika. So, you're saying you want more power? Ash cried out as he ran over to Misty's bike. Pikachu Pika, Pikachu said to Ash, smiling at him. Hey, what are you doing? Meowth asked as he looked at Ash on the burnt bike and saw Ash was using the bike as the small light came on while holding on to the wheel. Well, let's just say that Pikachu and I, well, we're going to generate a little excitement for you, Meowth, Ash told the cat as Pikachu just onto the bike. While Ash was doing this, Team Rocket just looked on in fear at what was about to happen to them. On the other hand, Pikachu just smiled at the three before giving all three and their Pokemon a thunderbolt. As Naruto and Sakura watched, they could tell that it's painful for them and are thankful that they were not shocked too. As Pikachu kept its thunderbolt going on, the three and the two Pokemon Coughing couldn't take it anymore. So it realized its smokescreen that combined with Pikachu's thunderbolt created an explosion so big that the whole Pokemon Center, or at least the top part of the Pokemon Center. At this time, Jenny came just in time to see the Pokemon Center blow. Guess I'm too late, but not for the fireworks, she said as she watched the red and lighting explosion. Still nice to watch. Sometime later that night, Team Rocket was hanging on to their Meowth balloons rope, and they were not happy. Great, a cat losing to a mouse, Jessie said, looking up at Meowth. That Pikachu is no ordinary Pikachu, Meowth said to her. Then maybe we should catch it? James asked the two. Perhaps we will, Meowth told them. Just then, a hole burst in their balloon, sending the three flying off. And they won't stop us. By the next morning, Ash, Naruto, Sakura, Misty, and Pikachu were in the Viridian Forest thanks to Nurse Joy. Both Naruto and Sakura had some sleeping bags that she had given them. Nurse Joy also gave the two some Pokeball too. Just then, the three heard Misty screaming out loud, and both Naruto and Sakura saw her hiding behind Ash. The three soon looked over to what had frightened Misty before seeing what had caused this, seeing a caterpie making the three were excited to see this. And they are wondering who would be the first to capture the bug-type Pokemon. Sakura just looked over at Ash, decided that Ash should be the one to get it since he had helped both her and Naruto. Hey Ash, why don't you have this one since I'm sure that Naruto and I can find some Pokemon in the forest, Sakura said to Ash. Ash just smiled at Sakura, giving his thanks before looking at the cater pie and got one of his empty Pokeball out. Slowly Ash turned his cap backward and threw the Pokeball at the cater pie. But the question on everyone's mind was, will Ash get the cater pie, will Naruto and Sakura ever get home, and would Misty ever get a new bike? Chapter 3 Ash catches a Pokemon. Deep within the Viridian Forest, Ash tries to capture his first Pokemon, while his 3 friends and Pikachu watched, wanting to observe how he would do. However, Ash only looked at the cater pie with the Pokeball in his right hand, while the cater pie just back at him. Soon Ash turned his cap backward and threw the Pokeball at the cater pie, and once the Pokeball hit its head, the cater pie turned red as he gets sucked into the Pokeball. For a few moments, everyone just watched as the Pokeball moved for a while before it stopped, and then Ash slowly smiled at his first Pokemon and ran over to his cater pie. Alright, I did, Ash yelled, running over to the Pokeball. Ash then picked the Pokeball up with a big smile on his face. Yes, I did, you guys. I got cater pie. I did it all by myself, Ash yelled as he started dancing around Misty. This is my first step to becoming the world's #1 Pokémon master, Ash yelled as he grabbed Misty's arm and danced with her, making her cry out in shock. Ash now had Misty spinning around with him, laughing while Misty didn't like what was going on. On the other hand, Naruto and Sakura were now laughing at what was going on with the two. That has to be the worst thing that could happen to someone, Naruto said, laughing as he and Sakura watched Ash's dance with Misty stuck for the ride. Ash, please stop. I'm going to be sick, Misty cried out to Ash, Misty only wanting him to stop. I know, Naruto, but at the very least, that's not us, Sakura said with a giggle as she looked at Ash and Misty. The young girl then looked back as she heard a noise from behind. Hey Naruto, look, I think it's another Pokemon, Sakura whispered to Naruto. Naruto just gave a hut to Sakura as the blonde looked to where she was looking over at it until the 2 ninjas saw another cater pie come out from the bush. The 2 ninjas looked at each other with a smile as Naruto decided to let Sakura capture it first. Hey Sakura, you can have cater pie, Naruto told her as he gave her a warm smile. Sakura was shocked at what Naruto said to her, that Naruto would let her be the first one out of the 2 to get a Pokemon. Thanks, Naruto, she replied with a smile as she soon got out a Pokeball and got it ready to capture the small bug. Alright, here it goes, Pokeball, go! Sakura yelled, throwing the ball at cater pie, and just like with Ash, it hit its target. Sakura only looked at the Pokeball as the cater pie tried to get out. Come on, you can do it! Sakura thought to herself as she saw it slowly stop and smiled. I got a cater pie, Naruto! She yelled as she hugged him. That's, gulp, alright, Sakura-chan, well done in getting cater pie, Naruto said, who was shocked that Sakura just hugged him. Sakura, who still didn't know what she had done, went over to get her first ever Pokemon and picked it up with a smile. That was until she heard a voice in the back of her head talking to her. I can't believe that you just hugged him, Inner Sakura yelled, shaking her head. Sakura only blushed at the thought of what she had just done. Why did you do that? She thought to herself. I need to work this out soon. Maybe Misty can help me work this out later. While Sakura was thinking to herself, Naruto looked over to where Ash and Misty were doing. Misty had already gotten free from Ash and didn't like how he forced her to dance like that, calling him crazy or was going to until he shoved the Pokeball in her face. From what Naruto could see, that Misty didn't like bugs at all. Naruto then saw that Sakura went running over to Ash and Misty. Hey guys, I just got a cater pie too, she yelled with joy. Ash smiled back at her. Well done, Sakura, you first ever Pokemon, Ash yelled. Sakura then looked over at Misty. Well, what do you think, Misty? Sakura asked as she showed her the Pokeball. Misty was slightly further creeped out now as she looked at the 2 Pokeballs that had bugs in them backing away. Please, you 2 keep them away from me, Misty yelled as she covered her face with her hands. Ash only smiled at her. What's wrong, Misty? You're not scared of 2 little caterpies and their Pokeballs, are you? Ash asked her with a smile. With that, Misty started to panic at this, shaking her head. Look, bugs just bug me out, even when they are in a Pokeball, so please keep it away from me? Misty asked. Sakura just smiled and understood what Misty meant. Alright, Misty, I get you don't like them. Thanks, Sakura, Misty said, smiling. But Ash was different, not getting that. Misty was afraid of the bug. Well, I like bugs even if they're not in Pokeballs. It must be great for cater pie to be all nice and warm inside the Pokeball. I love my new Pokemon, Ash said as he rubbed his Pokeball on his face. I guess it takes a worm to love a worm, Misty said without turning around, looking back at Ash with just her left eye. Ash then stopped rubbing the Pokeball on his face as he looked at her back. Oh, that's very funny, Misty. Hey, Pikachu, look, we got a new friend, Ash said, still happy about his first catch. Pikachu, who had just got up from looking at Ash's and Misty's little dance that they did, made him dizzy. But once Ash called Pikachu, the small mouse Pokemon looked at the Pokeball that now had Caterpie in. Pikachu just looked and sniffed the Pokeball and gave a loud Pika at the new Pokemon that Ash had. Oh, Pikachu, I'm glad you like it. And from now on, we'll get a whole bunch of new friends. Ash yelled as he stood up and then looked at the Pokeball. Caterpie, you're sticking with us. When he said this, Naruto and Sakura looked at each other, knowing that this would be bad news. Misty really doesn't like bugs, right, Naruto? Sakura asked, looking at the terrified girl. Does that mean? She asked as her head slowly looked back at Ash as she saw him calling out Caterpie. At this time, both Naruto and Sakura saw that Misty went running away from the bug as fast as she could before it could even come out. By this time, Caterpie was out, and Misty was far away from the bug-type Pokemon and behind a tree just looking at the Caterpie. Naruto quietly laughed softly at how scared she was, thinking about how she would take it when meeting Shino since the guy did have bugs in him. They continued to look on as they both saw the little Caterpie come out of its Pokeball, while Ash walked over to it, speaking to the Pokemon inside. There's nothing to be scared of, you know, he told her, looking at Misty. Ash then looked at Caterpie while kneeling down, and then put his right arm in front of the bug Pokemon. Come on, Caterpie, climb up on my shoulder? He asked the bug. Ash then looked over at Sakura. Hey Sakura, how about you let your Caterpie out too? He asked Sakura with a smile. Sakura only shook her head at this and looked at Misty. Sorry, Ash, but the last thing Misty needs is another bug out. Besides, us girls always stick together, you know, and I can tell that she hates them a lot, Sakura said to Ash. Sakura then heard Misty yell over to her. Thank you, Sakura. While this was happening, Caterpie started looking at Ash and Misty. The little bug was about to go up to Ash. When suddenly Caterpie went running over to Misty, everyone was shocked at the speed of the small bug-type Pokemon. Everyone just looked at Misty, and Caterpie Naruto just laughed. Hey, would you look at that? I think that Caterpie likes you, Misty, Naruto yelled to her with a big smile. On the other hand, Misty did not like this at all as she fell to the ground. I don't care if this bug likes me, just get it away from me, she yelled, while Caterpie just had a closer look at her. However, this only scared Misty even more as she backed away from Caterpie right into a tree. Please don't come any closer, she yelled once more, also closing her eyes. Ash still looked confused. I don't get it, Misty, why are you so afraid of Caterpie? He asked her. I just do, alright, she yelled before picking Pikachu up and placing him on her lap. I know, how about you be friends with that bug, and I'll be friends with Pikachu, Misty said with a smile. Ash only smiled at this and closed his eyes. Pikachu only likes me and shocks anyone else, Ash said before looking at Pikachu and saw that not only was Misty rubbing Pikachu's head. Both Naruto and Sakura were also with Pikachu, and the little mouse Pokemon loved it as he didn't shock any of them. Pikachu! Ash growled, not happy, not. He was wrong on Pikachu, not shocking Misty since Ash thought that maybe Pikachu would be on his side. Caterpie only continued to look at Misty, almost crying that she didn't want to be friends with him. Ash, please just put Caterpie back in its Pokeball, Misty yelled. Bugs are one of the 3 things that I hate, Misty yelled. Naruto was now curious about what the other 2 things she hated were. So, what are the other 2 things then? Naruto asked. Well, besides the bugs, the other 2 are carrots and peppers. Everyone has something they don't like, Ash, and I don't like them, alright, she yelled. Ash, on the other hand, just thought that her little fears were stupid. Well, I like carrots and peppers and bugs, Ash yelled, making a face at her. What I don't like is your silly fear of bugs, Ash yelled at her. However, Sakura saw where this was going and knew that she had to stop it as she knew Naruto wouldn't be able to. Alright, Ash, I think that's enough now, Sakura yelled. Everyone has something they don't like. Me, I for one, hate my forehead, from what people used to say to me when I was just 5, Sakura said to Ash as her voice went down. Naruto, on the other hand, just looked at Sakura as she told Ash off. Sakura then put her hands on her hips. Now I hate when people even say something about it now because of what the bullies did to me. So how do you know that something like that didn't happen to her? I mean, for all you know, she was attacked by some bugs when she was little, Sakura said as she finished talking to her friend. Ash only looked down, ashamed at what he said that Misty's fears were silly. You're right, Sakura. I'm sorry, Misty. Ash then looked at Caterpie and smiled. Come, you won't scare Misty anymore. When he said this, Misty was confused at what Ash said to Caterpie. What do you mean Caterpie won't scare me anymore? She asked as she watched Caterpie go up on Ash's arm while Pikachu jumped off her and went with Ash. We're leaving without her, Ash said, walking away from Misty, and Pikachu, Naruto, and Sakura are shocked by this but followed Ash. With that, Misty watched as she saw Ash, Naruto, and Sakura walking off while both Naruto and Sakura were confused about what Ash was doing. Oh, we'll see about that, Misty said to herself. No way I'm staying here. A while later, the three humans were walking down the road when Pikachu and Naruto looked behind. They both saw Misty was following them, yet the young ninja didn't know why she was. Hey, Sakura-chan, we have someone behind us? Naruto whispered to her, as he saw Sakura look at what he and Pikachu saw. Why do you think she is still following us? She asked Naruto, but he didn't even know himself. It was then that Ash noticed that Misty was still following them, but Misty went hiding behind a tree. Why are you following us, Misty? Ash asked. Misty was slightly nervous when Ash asked her. My bike. I'm holding you responsible for what happened to it, Misty told Ash. Naruto and Sakura laughed when they heard Misty's nervous voice, and it was as if she was hiding something. What do you think she is hiding, Sakura? Naruto asked. Sakura just shook her head. I don't know, Naruto, Sakura said as she watched Misty. When are you going to get over that dumb old bike? I told you I'd make good on it someday, Ash yelled at her. With this, all Naruto and Sakura could do was look at each other and sigh once again, both thinking, here we go again. They both thought as they watched Ash and Misty fight once again. With that, Naruto and Sakura used their chakra to walk up the trees to get away from the fight. Once they reached the top, the two just looked at the view. They could only watch from on top of the trees as they went on Misty, saying that she could have already got out of this forest. You know, Naruto, those two are a lot like you and Sasuke, she said, looking at her blonde friend. Very funny, Sakura, but even the two of us weren't that bad, Naruto told her. Oh, really? Then how did we end up here then? Sakura asked with a smile on her face. Naruto only saw this and knew what she meant, and he knew that she was right. The two young ninjas then looked back down at Ash and Misty and saw that they had stopped fighting when Ash said, Fine, do whatever you want, Ash said to her before he started walking off once again. Misty, on the other hand, just yelled back at Ash. That's what I'm going to do, Ash. Pikachu, Sakura, and Naruto looked at the two fighting one last time before all three gave a deep sigh. The two ninjas only looked at each other once more as they saw Misty go past them. Later that night, after everyone had helped set up camp for the night next to an old cut tree with only a stump left, both Pikachu and Caterpie were on as well, as Caterpie's Pokeball was on top, while a fire was burning to keep them all warm. Ash was already in his sleeping bag, which was just a dark blue, while his head was on his backpack. Well, guys, we need to get some sleep since we have a big day tomorrow, he said to his two Pokemon. Then Ash looked over at Naruto and Sakura, who were sitting down and talking to each other. Hey, are you two going to bed? Ash asked, looking at the two. It was now Misty's turn to ask them. Yeah, I mean, don't you two need sleep as well? I mean, we know that you're ninjas, but you must need sleep? Misty asked, who was in a red sleeping bag with bubbles at the bottom. Naruto just laughed. Oh, don't worry, we will, guys. We just need to finish talking, that's all, Naruto told the two with a smile. With that, both Ash and Misty went to sleep. So Sakura-chan, can you please call out your Caterpie now? Since Misty is asleep, and she won't know? Naruto asked with a smile. Sakura just smiled back. Sure, come on out, Caterpie, Sakura said with a whisper. The little Caterpie was out in a flash. Unlike Ash's, Caterpie Sakura's was slightly smaller. Sakura only smiled at her first ever Pokemon as she moved closer to her Pokemon, while Pikachu and Ash's Caterpie watched her. Sakura was close to her Caterpie, she kneeled to her Pokemon. Hey there, Caterpie, I'm Sakura, she said to her Caterpie and showed her hand to the little bug. Sakura's Caterpie only looked at her once more before looking at Pikachu, and Ash's Caterpie with the two nodded at her. With that, the little Caterpie went up Sakura's arm before reaching her shoulder. See, it's not so bad, is it? Sakura asked her little Caterpie with a smile on her face while Caterpie smiled back for the first time. We're going to be good friends, Caterpie, Sakura said as she held her Pokemon. Hey, Sakura, remember when we were back in Viridian City? Naruto asked as he slowly looked at her. Yeah, I do. What about it, Naruto? She asked, only looking at the fire as it burned. Naruto then looked at the moon. Well, Sakura, did you feel what I did when we were there? Naruto asked as he looked over at Sakura. Sakura looked at him before biting her lip and nodded. Yeah, I did, Naruto. The power is more than any of us have right now, and it scares me because it felt evil. I mean, really evil, Naruto, she said with a cover in her voice. What do you think it was anyway? She asked, looking at Naruto. I don't know, Sakura, Naruto said to her. Naruto then went up to her. Come on, Sakura, let's go and get some sleep, Naruto told her before he got out his orange sleeping bag. Sakura only sighed at this. Seeing that Naruto still likes the color orange, Sakura got out her sleeping bag. Hers was a light pink and redone, and after getting it out, she returned her cater pie to its poke ball and got inside. Well, good night, Naruto, she said before Sakura going to sleep. The next morning, as the sun started to shine, everyone was still asleep, but the thing is, Ash's cater pie was now sleeping right next to Misty. Said girl had only begun to wake up only to find cater pie right next to her face. Misty could only stare at the bug in pure horror before she let out a scream. Ah ha ha ha. Of course, this had woken up everyone else, well, everyone but Naruto, as he could sleep through almost anything. With that, Ash went jumping towards where Misty was still in his sleeping bag. Hey, what happened? Is everything alright? What? Ash said in a panic, looking around. What is your cater pie doing sleeping next to me? Misty asked as she looked down at the bug. Ash only laughed at this along with Sakura. Come on, Misty, cater pie just wants to be your friend, Ash said, smiling. Sakura just smiled at this before she saw that Naruto was still asleep. Oh, Naruto, come on, you can't tell me that you didn't hear Misty? Sakura thought to herself. She then went over to him to try and wake him up. Hey, Naruto, time to get up, she told him. However, Naruto only tossed and turned. Come on, Naruto, get up already, she yelled lightly. At this, Naruto opened his eyes slightly and looked at her. Oh, hey, Sakura-chan, is it time to get up already? Naruto asked. At this point, the two ninjas looked over to Ash and Misty, who were fighting once more. They both noticed that cater pie was gone. Alright, Misty, you owe cater pie an apology. Pokemon have feelings, do you know? Ash yelled. On the other hand, Misty thought about what he said before and gave a huff at him. With that, Ash went over to Caterpie's Pokeball to try and make it feel better. Hey, don't you worry, Caterpie, we'll show her someday, Ash said with a smile on his face. Misty, on the other hand, just looked away. Hey guys, what's that? I think it could be another Pokemon, Naruto asked as all three humans looked to where the sound was coming from before they saw it. They all saw a large bird come flying down then and land in the grass. At this point, Ash was out of his sleeping bag and had his cap on his head. Even Naruto and Sakura looked at the new Pokemon they saw as they watched it eat a worm from the ground. Wow, a Pidgeotto, Ash said with excitement as he pulled out his Pokédex along with Naruto. Pidgeotto, the evolved form of Pidgey. It is armed with sharp claws and dives from the sky to capture its prey. Unlike the gentler Pidgey, Pidgeotto can be dangerous. Approach with extreme caution, Dexter warned. Ash only smiled at this as he put his Pokédex away. Alright, Pidgeotto, I'll show you who's the dangerous one around here, Ash said as he got an empty Pokeball out. Pokeball, go! Ash yelled as he throws the Pokeball at Pidgeotto. Only for Pidgeotto to swat it away with wing while it had its eyes closed. Ash was disappointed at this. Naruto and Sakura were confused why it didn't work as it should have. After all, it worked on Caterpie. But they need to know more about the Pokemon world first, and how it worked being new here, and they just hoped that Misty could help them as it looks like she knows a lot about Pokemon. You don't get it, do you? You can't just throw a Pokeball and then catch a Pokemon, and you have to use your Pokemon to weaken it first. The only reason you got to catch Caterpie because it's already a weakling, Misty said. While Ash and Misty, or Ash this time, started at it again, Naruto sighed in disappointment. I was hoping that I would finally be able to catch a Pokemon. Sakura only smiled at Naruto. Hey Naruto, look, I'm sure you'll get one soon. After all, there may be more Caterpie here, and Ash and Misty can help us, Sakura told Naruto. Naruto looks at the girl with who he was madly in love with smiling and looked at Sakura. Wow, Sakura-chan, you are so smart, thank you, he said with a big fox smile, while Sakura just lightly blushed. Soon the two ninjas heard a gasp from Misty and Pikachu crying out. Hey, what's going on? Naruto asked as he looked over to where Ash was. That idiot just sent out his Caterpie to fight Pidgeotto, Misty yelled, knowing how stupid it was. Sakura was confused by this still being new to this world, so she looked over towards Misty. What do you mean, Misty? If you don't mind, since Naruto, and I don't even know what we need to do? Sakura asked. I mean, we could use the help when we start Pokemon battles. But Ash only cut the two girls off. See, I told you I know what I was doing, Ash said as he looked at Misty with a smug face. You have no idea what you've just done, Misty said, looking at him. Did I do something wrong? Ash asked as he looked back at Misty with a confused look. The three humans looked over to hear a noise from Ash's Caterpie, and they could see that Pidgeotto was chasing the unfortunate bug. Caterpie! Ash yelled. Pidgeotto was flying in the sky. He was ready to attack Caterpie once more while the bug started running for its life. Once again, Pidgeotto went into the air and soon got prepared to dive down on Caterpie one more time, only when Ash ordered an attack. Caterpie, use counter-attack! Ash yelled. Caterpie then stood up, ready to face Pidgeotto. However, the bird-like Pokemon knocked Caterpie into a tree. Ash saw this, and he could see how badly hurt it was. Only then did Misty yell at him. Ash, call Caterpie back now! Misty yelled out in fear. With that, Ash got out Caterpie's Pokeball. Caterpie, return! Ash yelled as a red light went towards Caterpie. Soon the little bug was safely back in its Pokeball, while Pidgeotto had got its beak stuck into the tree. Ash then looked at Pikachu, who was still on the tree stump. Pikachu, go! Ash told his friend. So with that, Pikachu went into action to get Pidgeotto, who had got its beak free from the tree. Pidgeotto did a small fly by Pikachu while Pikachu just looked up at Pidgeotto when Ash ordered an attack at Pikachu. Pikachu, use Thunder Shock! Ash yelled. With Pikachu knowing what to do, he let loose his Thunder Shock on Pidgeotto with this, and Ash saw that Pikachu's attack now paralyzed Pidgeotto. Pokeball, go! Ash yelled, and he throws the Pokeball at Pidgeotto. All three humans looked at the Pokeball as it moved for a while before it stopped. Yes, we got Pidgeotto! Ash yelled, and he then made a victory sign with his fingers. Even Pikachu did the same thing as Ash did. Is Ash going to do this every time, Sakura-chan? Naruto asked while Sakura shook her head, seeing he was as bad a Lian guy. Well, almost as bad. Ash then walked up to Misty before smiling at her. I am the greatest, Ash said proudly. You're the worst, you don't even know what you're doing. It's going to be a long time before you're a Pokemon master, like a million years, Misty said, looking at him, something Ash didn't. I'm trying to, but Ash was just cut off by Misty. You should try to learn something about Pokemon first. With Pokemon, you've got to use strategy. Pidgeotto is a bird, Caterpie is a worm. Birds eat worms, Mr. Pokemon Master, Misty said, yelling at him. But if you try hard enough, then it could all work out, right? Ash said, starting to could only sigh. No, Ash, I'm afraid it won't work out if you try hard enough. The Pokemon trainer judgment is the most impotent thing. Misty yelled at Ash. She may have hated bugs, but Ash could have got Caterpie killed. Just then, the three heard a female laugh. So, we meet again? Asked the male voice. Hey, wait a moment. I know that voice. It's the same two freaks from the Pokemon Center, Naruto said. To protect the world from devastation. To unite all peoples within our nation. You denounce the evils of truth and love. To extend our reach to the stars above. Jesse. James. Team Rocket. Blasting off at the speed of light. Surrender now or prepare to fight. Meowth. That's right, Meowth said as he jumped down, while behind, 3 explosions went off with 3 different smoke colors, yellow, green, and pink. Sakura only sighed at this as she looked at the 3. Can you 3 leave us alone right now? Or did you come to get your butts kicked by us again? Sakura said with a smile while Misty, Naruto, and Ash just laughed. I mean me, and Naruto didn't even have to help Ash and Pikachu last time. Hearing this, Jessie glared at Sakura. Now you listening to me, girl? Be careful what you say to us. We are not someone you should mess with, kids, Jessie said to Sakura. Anyway, let's get this over with. We want your Pokemon. Jessie asked as both she and James pointed at Pikachu while Meowth jumped onto Jessie and James's shoulders. At this point, Ash had his hands behind his head when he heard this. Hey, this is my Pikachu. Go out and find your own. Ash, I don't think they care, Sakura said to him. Yeah, after all, they did say that they steal Pokemon, Naruto said, getting ready for anything. James only laughed at the 2 kids. They're right, You know the only Pokemon we want is yours, James said while Meowth just looked at then smiled at this. After all, we only want rare and powerful Pokemon, like yours. With Meowth now looked at Jessie. Yes, and your Pokemon is just the kind we need, James said. Just then, Meowth started to attack Jessie and James by scratching the two. You idiots, stop giving away all our secrets to them, Meowth yelled. The three trainers were now as confused since all they saw was a Pikachu, and from what they all knew about Pokemon, they didn't get it. I don't get it. Is Ash's Pikachu that strong and powerful it looks like normal to me? Naruto asked as he looked at Pikachu, to which the others all nodded. Once Meowth was done with his teammates, and jumped to the ground. The kid's Pikachu's powers impressed even me. I got a charge out of its incredible attack the last time we meet. Its power is beyond what it would be in its evolved level. Your Pokemon, however, Meowth was quickly cut off as both Jessie and James both were kicking him. Now you're the one giving away all our secrets, Jessie yelled. Shut up before you tell them everything, James yelled. I'm in charge, so cut it out, Meowth yelled. With that, both Jessie and James looked at Ash and Pikachu once again. Why don't you just make it easy and give us Pikachu? Jessie asked. Ash, however, only huffed at them. No way, just leave already because I won't give him to you, Ash yelled. The two Team Rocket members could only laugh. Fine, if that's the way, then Pokemon battle, go, the two yelled. Go, Ekans! Jessie yelled, coughing go, James yelled. With that said, the same two Pokemon from the Pokemon Center, Ash, saw that Team Rocket are both using two Pokemon to battle him. Hey, 2-on-1, not fair, Jessie just laughed. Well, as we say, all fair in love, war, and Pokemon battles. Well, I say that's saying he rotten, Ash yelled at the two. Well, of course it is. We're the bad guys after all, James said. Misty then walked up to Ash while both Sakura and Naruto got ready for anything. Well, if they're going to use two Pokemon, I don't see why we can't, Misty said. Ash then looked back at Misty. But Misty, the Pokemon League rules say to only use one Pokemon at a time. Hearing this, Misty was worried for Ash, knowing he meant well, but Team Rocket won't play by the rules. Ash, look, if you do that, then you're going to lose all your Pokemon to them, she said, worried that he would lose them. So, let me help out. But they were all too slow as James was the first to attack. Coughing used Sludge attack on Pikachu. With that, Pikachu's eyes are now fully covered with sludge, blinding him. Oh no, Pikachu! Naruto yelled as he got ready to use any of his jutsus on the two. Sakura looked over at Naruto as she stopped him from doing anything. Don't do it, Naruto, remember, they can't know what we can do, she told him as Sakura looked at the two Team Rocket members. I know, Sakura, but that was just too dirty, Naruto said as he growled at the three. The two ninjas looked back at Pikachu, trying his best to get the sludge out of his eyes. If you think that's going to work, then think again, Ash yelled, picking Pikachu up then looking at Misty. Misty, they may try anything to get Pikachu, so please protect Pikachu no matter what, Ash said as he handed Pikachu over to her. But Ash, please let me help you. I have some Pokemon that can help, so please let me help you, Misty asked as she was so worried that Ash was going to get hurt. Ash only smiled at her. Maybe, but I still want you to look after Pikachu, Ash said as Misty took Pikachu while Naruto got in front of her. Naruto then looked at the two and smiled. You can also count on me to make sure that you don't get Misty or Pikachu, Naruto yelled with a smile. But Ash, what about the other two? She asked. However, Ash only faced Team Rocket. I can't use Caterpie, he's still too weak from the last battle, Ash thought. So he decided to use Pidgeotto. Pidgeotto, go, Ash called, and soon he throws the Pokeball with Pidgeotto in it, in front of both Ekans and coughing. James only smiled while he had his eyes closed and a red rose in his hands. Coughing, it's grim time, James said, smiling with that coughing went into the air where Pidgeotto was. The two Pokemon dived at each other a few times, both missing each other. Ekans, go get your dinner, Jessie yelled, and soon, her Pokemon joined in the fight. Pidgeotto, use quick attack, Ash cried out the order. Pidgeotto nodded. The beak went white while its wings were tucked in, while around the body was surrounded by flames. Ekans, go underground, Jessie yelled, and with that, the snake-like Pokemon went headfirst into the ground. Pidgeotto had to stop itself from hitting the ground, then had to look for Ekans. However, Coughing was right behind Pidgeotto. Ash saw what Coughing was going to do, so the young trainer warned his new Pokemon. Pidgeotto, watch behind you, Ash yelled while coughing. Just used smokescreen on Pidgeotto. However, Pidgeotto used his wings to get rid of the smokescreen that coughing was using on Pidgeotto. The very next attack James told his coughing to use was the same attack from before that coughing used to blind Pikachu from fighting. But Pidgeotto was able to dodge all of the sludge that coughing sent. However, at the same time, Ekans came up from behind. The snake-like Pokemon was about to dive on Pidgeotto when the bird Pokemon went into the sky to get away and gain an advantage. At this point, both Naruto and Sakura saw Team Rocket dancing with fans in their hand that also had the letter R on it, and saying, "We're going to get a Pokemon." Over and over, they were even smiling at this. Naruto could only watch back at Pidgeotto as it tried to fight off the two Pokemon. Naruto then looked over at Sakura. He could see that she was about to call her Caterpie out to help out in any way she could understand Ash was in trouble. "Pidgeotto, return." Naruto then looked up to see that Pidgeotto had lost. "Oh no, this only leaves Caterpie left. I got to stop them from taking Pikachu," Naruto thought with anger. "Why don't you just use my power to rip those two humans apart?" the Kyuubi said with an evil laugh. Naruto just blocked out the voice from the Kyuubi, but Sakura could see it, and she didn't know how or why, but she could tell it was the fox that was doing it to him. "I'll show you!" Ash yelled, and both ninja looked over at Ash, seeing that he is trying to fight Team Rocket off. However, James stopped him by putting his hand on his head while still having his rose in his mouth. "Alright, let's go put them up," Ash said as he tried to fight James. "What a fool in a Pokemon battle, only the Pokemon do the fighting," Meowth said, laughing. "Buzz off," James said as he flicked his nose, with Ash went rolling backward towards Misty and the others. "Ash, are you alright?" Misty asked, concerned that he could be hurt. However, that did it for Naruto. "That does it. If you want Pikachu, then you'll have to get past this army. Kage Bunshin, no jutsu," Naruto yelled. All Team Rocket could do right now was watch on as the boy and were shocked at what he just did as they saw 20 more of the boy. "Wow, did you just see what the kid did?" James asked, so shocked that he dropped his rose. "Who cares what this brat can do? Hey twerp, let Pikachu battle so Team Rocket can win," Jessie yelled as she looked over towards Ash. Pikachu cried at this, wanting to help his friends. "No, Pikachu, you can't battle like this," Misty told the mouse and tried to clean the sludge out of his eyes. Ash, on the other hand, took the Pokeball of his last Pokemon Caterpie. "I know that you're still weak from your battle with Pidgeotto, but I need you, we all do," Ash said, glancing sadly at Caterpie's Pokeball. Ash was about to call Caterpie out when Sakura stood next to him. "Don't worry, Ash. I'll help out any way I can," Sakura said with a smile as she got her own Caterpie's Pokeball. Sakura only smiled as she looked at her Pokemon. "You ready, Ash?" she asked with a smile. With a nod from Ash, the two both threw their Pokeballs. "Caterpie, go!" the two yelled. With a flash of light, the two Caterpies came out ready for battle. "Alright, then let's get this done," Sakura said with a smile. She then looked back to Naruto and smiled at him. "Make sure they don't get past us, Naruto," Sakura said. Sakura then looked over at Team Rocket as the three had shocked faces. "What is that?" James asked. Meowth just laughed at this. "They're bugs, just two little bugs," Meowth said. With that, all three laughed. "Let's get the bug spray," Jessie said, still laughing at the two Caterpies. Both Ash and Sakura didn't like how the three laughed at their Pokemon, and Naruto didn't like seeing this either. Both Coughing and Ekans attacked the two Caterpies. Both of the two Pokemon were getting closer. Even Pikachu could hear what was going on. Just then, Ash came up with an idea. He then looked over to Sakura. "Hey Sakura, just do what I do, alright?" he asked his friend. Sakura just nodded at what he said to her. "Alright, Caterpie, use String Shot on Coughing," Ash yelled. Ash Caterpie used String Shot on Coughing, covering its whole body and dropping to the ground. Sakura smiled at this and then heard Naruto calling to her. "You go get that, Snake Sakura-chan," Naruto yelled to her. Sakura smiled back before looking at Ekans. "You know I hate snakes, Caterpie, use String Shot on Ekans," Sakura yelled, and her Caterpie used String Shot on Ekans' head, which soon got quickly covered up completely. After the two Caterpies had done this, they both tackled the two Pokemon away while Team Rocket just looked in disbelief. "Beaten by two Caterpies," said a shocked James. "That really bugs me," Jessie said, looking at the two Caterpies. "Now watch a real Pokemon in action," Meowth said as he got his sharp claws ready to attack the two Caterpies. However, the two little caterpies just looked at each other before they both used string shot on Meowth. Soon Meowth was covered in string shot, too, while Jessie and James looked at each other with an evil smile. "Let's try and get Pikachu now from the two brats," Jessie said with a smile, while James just nodded. The two Team Rocket members just ran right at Naruto and Misty, as Ash and Sakura were shocked at this, and they could only call out to their friends. Naruto saw this and got ready to use his clones to attack the two, but he was not about to kill them. Naruto didn't want to be a killer, and they are idiots. Naruto just gave a smile as he looked at his clones. All had the same thought as he did right now. "Come to us, Pikachu!" the two yelled. Just as they were about an inch away from the Naruto clones, two of them used their legs to trip over Jessie and James. As the two Team Rocket members fell to the ground with a thud, it's something that the two didn't like at all, and soon both stood up. "Why, you little brat, how dare you do that to us?" both yelled, only for Naruto to smile at the two. "And what are you smiling about?" "Nothing much, just this Konoha's sacred taijutsu, 1,000 years of death," Naruto yelled as the two clones did more than intrude on their personal space as they shoved their fingers into their butts. The two just screamed at this and landed on the butts while the four youngsters just laughed at the two. Soon both Jessie and James came running over to Meowth and picked him up. "It looks like Team Rocket is blasting off," Jessie said, not wanting to have that kid attack like that again. "You may have won this time, but we'll be back," James yelled. With that, Team Rocket went running away while the four youngsters just laughed at them. "Oh yeah, well, come back anytime, and we'll beat you just like today," Naruto yelled. Misty only laughed too and stuck her tongue out at them. Ash, on the other hand, was smiling. "I can't believe it, we won," Ash said, still shocked at this victory. He then looked over to Sakura, who was making her way to her cater pie. "Hey Sakura, thanks for helping me out," Ash said, smiling. "Hey, that's alright, Ash," Sakura said with a smile. "Cater pie, I'm so proud of you," Ash said as he picked his cater pie up. Naruto, on the other hand, walked up to Sakura and smiled. "Wow, Sakura-chan, you were so amazing out there," Naruto told her, still smiling. "Thanks, Naruto," Sakura said with a smile on her face. "Sasuke never complimented me like Naruto did, never," Sakura thought to herself. Naruto then looked over at Cater Pie with a smile. "Wow, I can't believe that Cater Pie did all that, Sakura," Naruto said, shocked at Cater Pie's power. Naruto then went to pat Cater Pie on the head. While Naruto did this, Misty was about to pat Ash's Cater Pie on the head too, when the two Cater Pies used Sting Shot. While Misty was okay, Naruto was much closer to Sakura's Cater Pie, and he had the string shot right in his face while Sakura just laughed at what happened to him. Upon seeing Sakura, she was worried since Misty hadn't told her or Naruto yet that Pokémon evolved. "Cater Pie, what's wrong?" Sakura asked as she put her Cater Pie on the ground. "Hey Misty, what's happening to them?" Naruto asked as he looked at Sakura then the two Cater Pies. Misty just looked at Naruto, then Sakura, who was more worried about her Pokémon. "Don't worry, Sakura Cater Pie is just evolving," Misty said with a smile. Before long, the two Caterpies had evolved into Metapods, as Sakura then got out her Pokédex. Metapod, Caterpie's next stage. It has encased its body in a hard shell. This Pokémon reached this stage faster than any other known Pokémon that has yet to be discovered. "Hey, maybe this means that Caterpie will evolve again very soon," Ash said as he picked up his own Metapod. "Nice to meet you, Metapod." "What that matter, not in the mood to talk?" Ash asked as he started to laugh. Misty only smiled at this, not even taking her eyes off Ash. "Wow, he really does love Pokémon. I've never met anyone like him before who would go so far to help his Pokémon," Misty said, still having her eyes closed. Sakura heard what Misty had said and just smiled. Just then, Misty opened her only to see Ash's Metapod and screamed. "Misty, you two were just about to make friends. You didn't forget, did you?" Ash asked with a smile on his face. I didn't forget but I. Misty was now stuttering with her words, but she was quickly cut off when a beedrill went right past her. "Cool!" Naruto yelled as he looked at it fly past them. "Oh, I'll do anything, let's just get out of this forest," Misty yelled, while both Ash and Naruto only smiled at her. "No way, there's still plenty more Pokémon for us to capture," Ash yelled while he had his Metapod in his backpack. Ash then ran off, but not before he gave Misty her backpack. "Hey, wait for me!" Misty yelled at him, while Naruto and Sakura were close behind them, yelling at them too. "Hey, you two, wait up!" Sakura yelled as she returned her Metapod to its Pokeball. "Yeah, Ash, wait for us," Naruto yelled. Ash, on the other hand, just laughed at the two ninjas. Come on, the two of you need to keep up, Ash yelled back at them. With that, the four heroes went deeper into the Viridian forest, not knowing that it would only get darker as they went in. Not knowing of the dangers of what they would have to face or who would be waiting for them once they got there. Chapter 4 Challenge of the Samurai. It was another day inside the Viridian forest, with Naruto and Sakura were both in front of Ash and Misty. The two ninjas talked about what they should do since Naruto showed Team Rocket what he could do. Naruto, I wish you didn't use your shadow clones in front of Team Rocket, Sakura said, worried at what the three villains would do to him since they found out about his skills. All Naruto did was smile at showing no worry on his face at all. Hey, don't worry, Sakura-chan, they can't do anything to you or me. We are ninjas, after all, he told her with a smile. Sakura just looked at him with a smile. I just hope that you're right, Naruto, Sakura said, but she paused as she looked back at Ash and Misty. I just don't want them to get hurt because of us. It was true, Sakura didn't want to see the two of them hurt. Hey, don't worry, Sakura. I'm sure that we can handle these Team Rocket people if they show up again, Naruto said, smiling at her at his crush. Sakura merely laughed at this, looking at Naruto. It's not those three idiots I'm worried about, Naruto. It's what we felt back in Viridian City. Naruto nodded his head when she told him this, and Naruto looked back at Ash and Misty before talking to Sakura again. I asked the Kyuubi what it was that we felt, Sakura, Naruto told her, making sure that Ash and Misty didn't hear him. Sakura just looked at Naruto. Well, what did that stupid fox have to say then? She asked with hate in her voice at the Kyuubi. Naruto could tell that she hated the Kyuubi because of what it had done to his life, that and knowing the Kyuubi wanted her dead. They were about to go on when the two soon heard Misty screaming at something, and both ninjas thought that maybe they were getting attacked by something, so they got ready to fight it. With that, both Naruto and Sakura looked at Misty, who was holding onto a tree. What's wrong now, Misty? Ash asked her. I think I see another bug, Misty yelled, pointing to where she saw the bug. Ash just sighed at this. Maybe it's a counterpie, Ash told her with a smile as everyone saw Ash in a cow costume. Everyone who heard Ash just crashing to the ground while Misty fell out of the tree, even the branch she was on broke off. And I thought Naruto was bad at jokes, Sakura thought to herself. Misty then got up from the ground. That's not funny, Ash, you know I hate bugs, and I just saw one right there, Misty yelled as she pointed to where she the bug. Just then, Ash, Naruto, and Sakura looked over to the Pokemon that Misty saw was a little Weedle. Both Ash and Naruto were excited about this, Naruto, because this could be his first Pokemon, and to him, it looked cool. As for Ash, well, Ash liked any Pokemon that he saw a new Pokemon ready to catch and to beat Gary with it, but Ash looked over at Naruto, who had already got out his Pokédex. Weedle, the stinger on this Pokemon's head guarantee that an attacker will get the point right where it hurts, Dexter said while Naruto only smiled at the thought at this. Wow, this is such a cool Pokemon. I'm so going to get it, Naruto yelled in a playful tone. Sakura couldn't help but laugh at this while Misty held on to Ash, which Sakura noticed and smiled at the sight. Well, I guess this will be your first Pokemon then, so I'll let you have it, Ash said with a smile. Yeah, go ahead, Naruto. I know that Shino would be shocked by the bugs he would see and would try to get them all. She then told them who Shino was and how he had bugs inside his body. Seeing this was something Misty didn't like at all, bugs that lived inside the body. Knowing this just wanted to make her throw up. Misty then went pale at the thought of a third bug Pokemon with her, but the young girl looked down as she felt something on her leg. Looking down, Misty saw it's a Weedle that was rubbing on her leg. Misty just down at Weedle before making a run for it. What are you waiting for anyway? Just catch that Pokemon already, she yelled, running away from everyone. Don't worry guys, I'll go make sure she stays out of trouble, Sakura said as she went after Misty. Naruto just smiled as he got out his Pokeball, knowing that, like with Sakura's Caterpie, it will be easy for him to get. Alright, little Weedle, it's time that you join my team, Naruto yelled as he throws a Pokeball at the Pokemon. Naruto then watched as the ball hit the Weedle, and soon Naruto watched as Weedle went into the Pokeball. Naruto could only wait now as Weedle tried to fight and get freedom from the Pokeball, but soon Weedle was captured by Naruto. Meanwhile, Sakura had caught up to Misty, who was talking to her to herself. This whole forest is just full of bugs, I just wish they would all bug off, Misty said until she looked behind her and saw Sakura. You know Misty, it's not safe to be out here alone, Sakura said as she stood next to Misty. I know Sakura, I hate them so much, and lately, they all seem to be coming at me, Misty said. I know it's just that Sakura was quickly cut off from talking as both she and Misty heard something from behind them. Sakura slowly got out one of her kunai, ready for whoever was watching them, then without any warning, a young boy who was dressed as a samurai went right for the two girls with his sword. On the other hand, Sakura just used her kunai to block the boy's sword from hitting her and Misty, who was now even more scared than before. Sakura only growled at the boy as she looked at him. "Alright, who are you, and what do you want?" she asked, still holding her kunai on the boy's sword. "Are any of you two from a town called Pallet?" the boy asked while impressed with what the pink-haired girl did with his sword. "No, that's not us," Misty said, shaking her head. "Yeah, so leave now," Sakura yelled at the boy. With that said, the young boy then put away his sword. "Alas, my search continues," he said and beached to walk away until he stopped and looked back. "I'd advise you not to scream anymore unless you want to attract Beedrill," he said before leaving them. Once he left, Misty just fell to the ground. "Hey Misty, are you alright?" Sakura asked as she put away her kunai. Misty just nodded at her friend. "Yeah, I'm fine, but I wonder why he would be looking for a Pokémon trainer from Pallet." "Oh no, that's Ash!" Misty yelled as she got up as fast as she could and started to run back to him. "What do you think he wants with Ash?" Sakura asked, frowning with fear on her face. Misty shook her head as she looked at Sakura. "I don't know, Sakura, but we need to get to him." Meanwhile, Ash and Naruto were now talking after having a battle with Ash's Pidgeotto and Naruto's Weedle. It was a hard battle, but in the end, Ash ended up winning the match, but Naruto just smiled. Ash even smiled at seeing that Naruto was getting a lot better at this. "Wow, Naruto, you did well for your first battle," Ash said to him. "I know. I'm just happy that I got a Pokemon and a cool one at that too," he yelled with a big grin on his face. "Excuses me, but which one of you is from a town called Pallet?" The same boy who had just attacked both Misty and Sakura asked Ash and Naruto. "Oh, I'm from Pallet Town," Ash said as he was about to turn around to meet the boy. Just then, Ash and Naruto heard both Sakura and Misty calling to them, but Misty was calling more than Sakura was. "Ash, watch out!" Misty yelled at the top of her voice and lungs. With that, the boy in the samurai costume then attacked Ash with his sword until he stopped right at Ash's nose. By this time, both Misty and Sakura were up to Ash as both Naruto and Sakura were ready to fight this kid if he decided to hurt Ash. "I'm not scared of you, you're not getting my Pokemon," Ash said, doing the best he could at being brave right now. The samurai then put his sword away. "I am no Pokemon thief," he said to him. At this point, both ninjas are very angry at the kid. "Alright, then who are you and stop attack people like?" Sakura yelled. Naruto had to agree with her on this. "Yeah, what are you, crazy or something, attacking people like that?" Naruto yelled, not happy at all with this kid. "I am samurai. I am bold, fearless, and unbeatable in combat," he said. "I've been searching the forest for you," he finished looking at Ash. "What do you want from me?" Ash asked Samurai. With that, Samurai got out a Pokeball. "A Pokemon match, let us see who will triumph over this match." Ash could only smile at this as he got out one of his Pokemon. "Alright, then Pidgeotto comes on out," Ash called. But once Pidgeotto came out, Ash noticed the bird was too tired to fight anymore, and all thanks to the battle with Naruto Weedle. "Oh no!" That was all Ash could say right now as he looked down at Pidgeotto. "Ash, don't you know you need to let your Pokemon rest now and then?" Misty told him. "Well, Misty, you see, I kinda forgot about that," Ash said. "Only a foolish, incompetent trainer sends out a tired Pokemon. That mistake will cost you dearly," he yelled as he throws out his Pokeball. Then as the white light faded out came a tall brown Pokemon with pincers on the top of its head and a funny mouth. Ash was shocked when he saw the Pokemon that Samurai decided to use first. "Wow, he's got a pincer," Ash said while Naruto got out his Pokédex. "Pincer, this fearsome Pokemon has its powerful claws to put the squeeze on its opponents," Dexter said as it showed Naruto a pincer. Ash had overheard what Dexter said. "That pincer looks tough, but I know you can handle it, Pidgeotto," Ash said with confidence. "Alright, Pidgeotto, use Sand Attack on Pincer." With that, Pidgeotto began using the Sand Attack on Pincer with its wings. But this didn't do much to Pincer as the sand around Pincer. Samurai, on the other hand, just laughed. "Ha, that is child's play, Pincer, tackle it," Samurai ordered. Then out of Pidgeotto's Sand Attack, Pincer came out and tackled Pidgeotto with the pincers on the top of his head. Sadly, this was too much for Pidgeotto to take since he had fought Naruto's Weedle not too long ago. With the first match over, Pidgeotto had lost, while Samurai just laughed that he had lost. Your Pokemon is beaten. With his left fist clenched tight. Oh no, Pidgeotto return! Ash yelled as he called his Pidgeotto back into the Pokeball. With that, a red light hit his Pidgeotto before the bird disappeared back into the Pokeball. Well, Novas, are you ready to surrender? Samurai asked him with a smile. Ash only growled at this. I'm just getting warmed up, Samurai, so you better be ready for round 2, he said, not wanting to give up this battle. Metapod, I chose you now! Ash yelled, and with a flash of white light, Metapod came out of his Pokeball, blinking his eyes. Watch and weep as my pincer crushes you, Metapod, in half, Samurai said with a smile on his face. Ash got the mental image of his Metapod being crushed in half by Pincer's claws. Oh no, those claws! Ash said in fear. Sakura and Naruto were afraid of what could happen to Ash's Metapod. Even Misty didn't like the idea of Metapod getting crushed in half. Ash, you need to call Metapod back. Not even a bug deserves this, Misty told him. Ash didn't know what he should do now, and he didn't want to lose his Metapod. It was then that Sakura remembered something. She looked upon her Pokédex. Ash, tell Metapod to use hard and fast, she yelled. Naruto just looked at her, shocked that she knew that already. Hey, Sakura-chan, how did you know that? Sakura couldn't help but laugh at this. Oh, Naruto, I looked it up on Dexter after Caterpie evolved later that day. I thought that I'd better know what she can do after all, she said with a smile on her face. Sakura then looked back at the battlefield to see that Pinsir had lost and returned to its Pokeball. Sakura then looked back at Naruto, who was confused over what she had just told him. You're wondering how I know that Metapod is a girl, right? She asked, looking at him. Naruto only nodded, confused at her, and Sakura knew this. Well, Naruto, you see, I asked her, and a girl can always tell these things, Sakura said with another smile. With that, Sakura and Naruto looked back at the battle that was going on. The two saw that Samurai had called out his own Metapod and had just used Harden like Ash's did while fighting Pinsir. However, every time one of them used Harden, Ash or Samurai, they would ask their Metapod to use it again, which went on for some time. As time went on, it soon went from morning to afternoon, and Misty, Sakura, and even Naruto and Pikachu were sunbathing. Misty had a red bikini on her with black sunglasses over her eyes, while Sakura wore a light pink bikini. As for Naruto, he only had orange boxers on him, and he had black sunglasses on him. All of them, including Pikachu, had drinks with them as they just enjoyed the sun, while a few times, Naruto had to try and not look at Sakura a few times since she was right now in a bikini. Meanwhile, Team Rocket was currently up to no good. Both Jessie and James were in a cardboard tank while Meowth was on top. After what the three had seen last time, they didn't know what they were going to do. Jessie, I'm tired, James cried out, looking at Jessie. Why are we carrying this stupid tank around everywhere for anyway? He asked and moaned at the same time. To protect us from Beedrill. Ever been stung by one, it hurts, Jessie told him while trying her best not to lose her temper with James. Hearing the fighting, Meowth looked down on the two, frowning at them. Hey, will you two stop talking already? We need to be keeping an eye out for Pikachu and that kid with the orange jumpsuit, Meowth told the two humans. Hey, what are you doing up there? Jessie asked the cat Pokemon, not happy that he was not helping them. Get down and help up us, James told him. Love to, but I'm on lookout duty, Meowth said to them as he went back to rest as he had done before. Oh yeah. Well, look out for this fur ball, Jessie yelled. With that, both Jessie and James then threw Meowth off the tank that he was on. After that, he got back up and started to run after them. Hey, just wait for a second, come back, he yelled. Meanwhile, back where our heroes are, that battle was still going on, and right now, Naruto was getting tired of waiting to see who would win. He then looked over to Sakura, standing right next to him, smiling at him. I know that you were looking at me, Naruto, Sakura said while Naruto flinched at this. Oh well, you see Sakura-chan about that, but Naruto cut himself off, not knowing what he should even say. Sakura just slowly looked at him and smiled. Don't worry, Naruto. I'm not mad as long as you weren't thinking of doing anything to me? She asked with a smile on her face while Naruto just blushed. With that, Sakura giggled as she saw Naruto's blush. I can't believe Naruto blushed like that. Sasuke never even looked at me like Naruto does, Sakura thought to herself. Just then, the two ninjas heard Misty let out a deep sigh. I think we're going to be stuck in this forest for the rest of our lives at this rate. Boys can be so stubborn, Misty said, irritated at how long this was taking. Sakura just nodded her head at this. I can agree with you on that, Misty, Sakura said with a sigh. However, Both Ash and Samurai were still telling their Metapod to use harden, but Ash and Samurai were now both presently stuck from all the orders they gave their Metapod, and it didn't take long before they both fell to the ground. You two are more hard-headed than your Metapods, Misty yelled. Naruto had to agree with Misty there. I hate to say this, but Misty-chan is right, Naruto said. Everyone heard a buzzing noise coming towards them. They all looked to see what it was. Hey, what's that noise? Naruto asked as he tried looking around for where the noise came from and saw what it was. Samurai then got up as fast as he could to answer him. A beedrill swarm approaches, our match must end. Good day, Samurai said as he recalled his Metapod to a Pokeball. With that, everyone looked behind Ash to see hundreds of beedrill coming right for them. Sakura had to get her Pokédex out to find info on them. Beedrill, this Pokemon, is the evolved form of Weedlet following its Kakuna stage. Its sting is highly poisonous. Naruto was shocked at why they were attacking them until Samurai told them what he thought it was. That Weedle that you captured earlier, he said, pointing to Naruto, must have belonged to that hive, and now they have come looking for the Weedle, Samurai said and then ran off. Before the others could do anything else, a beedrill had picked up Ash's Metapod and started to fly away from the trainers. Ash did try to recall his Metapod, but Beedrill kept dodging the red light from the Pokeball until the Beedrill disappeared over the forest. Oh no, Metapod! Ash yelled. It was only then that another Beedrill came up from behind, ready to attack Ash. However, Pikachu used a Thunderbolt on the Beedrill. It's unfortunate for Ash though, as Ash was right next to Beedrill, so he was shocked along with the Beedrill. While Ash was left smoking from the attack, Beedrill left the four humans alone, but Misty, Sakura, and even Naruto knew that even more were coming to get them. So with that, they all left running as fast as they could go. Misty had to drag Ash as he wanted to help his Metapod. Come on, Ash, we need to move! Misty yelled at him. As they were running for their lives behind them, the Beedrill swarm was getting closer to them. Ash, on the other hand, just looked back. But what about Metapod? He asked. Don't worry, Ash. We'll save him, Sakura said as she looked at him with a smile. Ash knew that she was right. All any of them could do right now was to run for it. Samurai was having a harder time running, thanks to what he had on right now. As for the others, it was easy for them since both Naruto and Sakura are ninjas. As for Ash and Misty, the two also found it easy to run away since they didn't have armor. Just then, the four saw Samurai make a left turn into the bushes trying to catch the breath from all the running. Sakura and Naruto slowly looked forward only to see a horde of Kakuna hanging from a large tree in front of them. What are they? Sakura whispered. Samurai just whispered back to her. They are Kakuna, my dear. With Sakura got her Pokédex out. Kakuna, this Pokemon is in the middle stage of Weedle and Beedrill. Kakuna stays motionless until they evolve into deadly Beedrill and hatch. Everyone slowly looked at the Kakuna on the tree in front of them, but right at the bottom was Metapod. Hey, over there guys, it's Metapod! Ash yelled. But Misty had to put her hand over his mouth. Keep your voice down, Ash? Misty yelled at him, but it was more of a whisper. But it was far too late as the Kakuna was now looking right at them, but it was only about to get a lot worse for them as the Kakuna started to evolve. Metapod was not the only Pokemon, and there was also an injured Eevee lying on the ground breathing deeply. Naruto saw this and knew that he couldn't just leave the poor thing here, so he took a look at the Kakuna and made a run for Eevee. Naruto, what are you doing? Ash and the other yelled, knowing that it was a dangerous thing to do. On the other hand, Naruto just kept running, and the little Eevee saw this and looked up at Naruto as the blonde-haired ninja picked her up. Naruto was about to go and get Metapod when slowly the new Beedrill hatched out of the Kakuna. With that, the new Beedrill went after the humans. So everyone had to start running once again, and they didn't care where they were going right now. It was then that the four saw a cabin in the woods that they were coming up to, knowing that it could be a safe place to hide until the Beedrill left them alone. Samurai told the others about the cabin being their only hope they had to escape. I think that we can make it, he yelled. With that, Samurai opened the door to the cabin, watching everyone running inside for safety, and closed the door behind them. Still, a Beedrill used its stinger to hit the door at the last second and slowly took its stinger out of the door, while many other Beedrill outside the cabin are now waiting for them to come out. While Samurai was taking off his armor, Naruto ensured that Sakura was alright and Ash and Misty. Since he didn't want any of them hurt, even thinking about it worried him. Naruto then looked at the Eevee he had in his arms and was shocked that she was asleep but was still hurt, which Sakura and the others saw. Here, Naruto Nurse Joy gave it to me before we left, Sakura said as she got out some super potion. Naruto moved Eevee to the bed and placed her down, while Sakura moved closer to the small Pokemon and smiled. I'm sorry, but this might hurt a little, she said with a smile. The little Eevee didn't like this and moved slightly away. From the looks of it, the poor thing must have gotten attacked by those Beedrill, Sakura said while Misty nodded her head and looked over at Ash and was worried about him. Both ninjas just looked out the windows of the cabin, keeping an eye for the Beedrill. While they were doing this, Samurai was once again calling Ash a fool for leaving his Metapod behind like he did. Naruto then heard Ash call out someone named Gary. He didn't know who he was, but from the way Ash sounded when he said his name. On the other hand, Samurai said how the other 3 trainers were such fine battlers and had to make him think about how he could defeat the next trainer he saw from Palette. Samurai then said to them that compared to them, Ash was just a joke. Ash just growled at this. Later that night, everyone was already asleep, well, everyone but Ash, who was still awake on what he should do. That's all Ash could do throughout the night, thinking about how to save Metapod from the Beedrill that had taken him. The next morning Ash had left the cabin early, hoping that no one would know that he had disappeared. But this plan failed as he forgot that Naruto and Sakura were ninjas, and they both felt him leaving. Do you think we should go after him, Sakura-chan? Naruto asked her. Sakura nodded her head. We better. Naruto don't know how much danger he'll get into, she said. With that, the two left to go after Ash, hoping that he would not get killed. The two were lucky that it didn't take them any time before that had finally reached Ash. When they did reach him, Sakura was not at all happy with the young trainer. Ash, what were you thinking? Sakura yelled at him. Ash just gave a sigh hoping that he could leave without them knowing. Sorry guys, I just needed to get Metapod, Ash said. However, both Naruto and Sakura decided to help Ash out in getting Metapod back from the Beedrill. It didn't take long before Ash, Naruto, or Sakura reached the Beedrill nest. They all had a look for Metapod. That was until someone jumped on Ash's head. It was Meowth. Do you know what Meowth's favorite game is? Get off me! Ash yelled as he throws Meowth off his head, only for the cat to scratch his face. Scratch and sniffle. Meowth just started to laugh at the pain Ash was in and made him laugh. So what about you two? Do you want to play Meowth's little game? Meowth asked the two ninjas. The two, however, only growled at the cat Pokemon. Guess who? A pair of voices asked. The 3 humans looked up to where they heard the familiar voices coming from behind and saw Jesse and James. On top of a rock, the 3 trainers saw Team Rocket. Prepare for trouble. And make it double. To protect the world from devastation. To unite all peoples within our nation. Naruto knew this would be bad news as he looked back at the tree with the Beedrill still. Not now, you 3 losers, you'll wake the Beedrill up, Naruto said to the 3. However, Jesse was not at all happy that Naruto interrupted them. Never interrupt the Team Rocket motto, Jesse yelled. To denounce the evils of truth and love. To extend our reach to the stars above. Jesse. James. Team Rocket. Blasting off at the speed of light. Surrender now or prepare to fight. Meowth. That's right. With that, a loud explosion went off behind them, unknowingly waking up the Beedrill too. Little boy, why don't you just give us your Pikachu? Jesse said with a smile. James then laughed too. Yes, and while you're at it, how about that blonde and pink brats come with us too, James said. After all, I'm sure our boss wants to know what the two of you can do. There's no way that I'm giving Pikachu to you or Naruto or Sakura there, all my friends. Ash yelled before running away from the 3. Even Naruto and Sakura followed him too, but Team Rocket did the same thing as well. Hey you 3, come back here! The 3 Team Rocket members yelled as they jumped down from the rock they were on. As the 3 heroes were running, they came up with a plan to get past the Beedrill. Hey you 2, if we can make it past the Beedrill, then maybe they'll go after Team Rocket, Ash said to his 2 friends, to which they both nodded. They had to admit he was smart to come up with something like that. If he were a ninja back him, he would help them on missions. So, without another thought, the 3 friends dodged past the Beedrill and safely, while the Beedrill, on the other hand, went after Team Rocket. Team Rocket saw that the Beedrill were coming right at them. It's time to use our tank, Jesse yelled. It was worth the trouble of carrying it around, James said, but as they picked up the tank, they saw that some of the Weedle are presently eating the tank. Oh no, they're eating the tank, Meowth yelled. Well, we made it out of paper to reduce the weight. Who knew they would eat? James asked himself. You numbskulls, what did you think would happen? Meowth said to the 3 before they had to run away from the Beedrill. Meanwhile, Ash, Naruto, and Sakura had reached the tree where Metapod was. Naruto had already called his Weedle out just in case. Sakura also had her own Metapod out even if she knew that her little Metapod couldn't do anything. The two knew that they had to protect Ash while he was getting Metapod. "I'm so happy that you're alright, Metapod. Quickly get inside the Pokeball?" Ash asked. Despite this, Metapod was saying no to Ash, not wanting to go inside. "Ash, you need to hurry, they're already coming back," Sakura yelled. "So get Metapod and run for it while Naruto and I deal with the Beedrill." Ash only looked behind, over to where she and Naruto were, and saw that 3 Beedrill were now coming after him. Ash quickly picked up his Metapod before running away as fast as he could go, just as Sakura told him to do. With Ash safely away from here, Naruto and Sakura quickly got ready to battle to 3 Beedrill that are now coming right for them. However, this didn't work the way they wanted it to, as one of the Beedrill went right past them right to Ash. The two ninjas knew that, sadly, there was nothing they could do as they had to fight off the 2 remaining Beedrill. Naruto was the first one to attack with his Weedle. "Alright, Weedle, use Poison Sting on Beedrill," Naruto ordered. With that, the Weedle did as he said, to do anything to protect his friend from his former family. However, Weedle only smiled, or I smiled at its trainer as the little bug Pokemon attack hit dead on its chest. Before Naruto told Weedle to use String Shot on Beedrill too, and before long, the Beedrill fell to the ground, all tied up and trying to get free. "Alright, we won, Weedle, good job," Naruto yelled with a big smile on his face. Meanwhile, Sakura used her Metapod and used Tackle on the other Beedrill. She was so happy that her Metapod knew that. Sakura had looked behind her to see how Ash was doing, only to see him trip over and then started to cry, saying that he will never leave his friends behind again. At that time, Naruto and Sakura saw Misty, Samurai, even Eevee and Pikachu, who had a net protecting them from the Beedrill. "Ash, no!" Misty yelled. "Watch out for the Twin Needle attack," Samurai yelled. "Pikachu!" Pikachu yelled, "Most likely say no, Ash." At the last second, Metapod jumped in the way of the Beedrill's attack. However, even though the Beedrill needle on its arm was now broken, who had now flown away, Metapod was a lot worse. As Ash saw the nasty cash on Metapod, Ash was asking if Metapod was alright, but he said nothing. It was only then that something started to happen to Metapod inside. A white light from inside Metapod. Slowly something was coming out of Metapod's shell, and out came a Butterfree flying around with all its glory. Everyone was shocked at the sight of the new Butterfree that had only just evolved, and everyone just loved the sight of Butterfree. Even Misty thought that he was beautiful. Even Naruto and Sakura were amazed by what they could see more, so Sakura, as her Metapod, will be that soon or one day. Butterfree, 1 week after Caterpie evolves into Metapod, it then again evolves into Butterfree, Ash's Pokédex said. Ash, the others, only watched as Butterfree was flying around Ash, while Ash just smiled at his newly evolved Metapod. However, this was sadly quickly cut short as the rest of the Beedrill returned. However, Butterfree was ready for them as he went right next to Ash. Ash then looked at his Butterfree while he did the same to his trainer. Both knew what needed doing. "Alright, Butterfree, knock them all out with your sleep powder," Ash ordered. With that, Butterfree went to work on using its sleep powder on all of the Beedrill left and right, while the Beedrill just fell to the ground. Even though all the Weedle and Team Rocket were then also sent to sleep, Ash was dancing with joy that he had won. Later that day, Ash and Ko were at long last out of the Viridian Forest. "This road will take you to Pewter City," Samurai told the 4. Naruto just smiled. "Cool, thanks, Samurai," Naruto yelled with a big grin on his face. Sakura only laughed. "Yeah, I thought that we would never find our way out of there," Sakura said with relief. "Yes, thank you, but before we can Samurai, we need to finish our battle," Ash said. "There is no need, my friend, compared to you. I am the novice," Samurai said to Ash. Ash could only smile at this. "Thanks, Samurai. I hope we battle again someday." "Yeah, just please make sure that you don't have Metapod versus Metapod again," Misty told the 2 while Pikachu just agreed with her, while Naruto and Sakura just laughed. With that said, the 4 left Samurai still waving goodbye to each other, all 5 hoping that they would meet again someday. Naruto just smiled as he looked down at the little Eevee, who he decided should be left with Samurai. "Well, I guess this is goodbye," Samurai said, yet the little Eevee had other ideas in mind and wanted to go with Naruto as he did save her life. So slowly, she moved closer to Naruto and licked his face. "Eevee," the little Pokemon said with a happy tone. On the other hand, Naruto looked at the little Eevee as she continued to talk to him. "So, are you saying that you want to come with me?" he asked with a grin, to which Eevee just nodded her head. With an even bigger grin, Naruto just took out his Pokeball and threw it at Eevee. Alright then Eevee, come on and join the gang. Naruto yelled with a smile on his face while Eevee just smiled and letting his Pokeball catch her. And with a white flash of light, Eevee was now inside the Pokeball while the Pokeball moved for only a few moments before the red light showed that Eevee was now his Pokemon. Alright, I did. I got an Eevee! Naruto yelled with a smile on his face. However, 3 people were all still trapped within Viridian Forest. Team Rocket, the 3 are stuck in the tree, where the Kakuna and even the Beedrill were asleep. All 3 Team Rocket members were dressed up or trying to dress up as Kakuna so that Beedrill didn't attack them. Do you have any more bright ideas, Jesse? James asked. Well, unlike at least I have ideas, she whispered. Yeah, and they all bad ideas, Jesse. I mean, what made you think this will even work? Meowth asked her. Who asked you? Jesse yelled to Meowth. And this was a bad thing for the 3 as the Kakuna knew something was off with the 3 fakes. So the Beedrills started to attack them and stinger them all over, and Team Rocket couldn't do too much but cry in pain. Chapter 5 Konoha is told. Arceus tells all. It was yet another beautiful day for Ash and his friends as they were at long last out of the Viridian Forest, and Naruto had 2 new Pokemon. They were now en route to Pewter City, and so far, they had not come across any trouble. Even Team Rocket hadn't shown up since Viridian Forest. It was peaceful for them, not worrying about what was going on or when Team Rocket would attack them. Except Misty and Ash were concerned that Team Rocket knew what Naruto could do and maybe Sakura, too, since they still had their leaf headbands on their heads. Both Naruto and Sakura were still shocked that it had only been 6 days since they had first arrived here, and it had been fun for the 2. Both Ash and Misty looked over at their 2 friends with worry on their faces. They could already see it on Sakura's face. Sakura was looking behind her back now and then, thinking that someone could be following them. She was so worried about what would happen to her right now, and Naruto already knew that if Team Rocket found out about the QB, they could use him. I don't want that for him, not, after all, he has been through in his life, Sakura thought to herself. At that moment, Sakura just gave a sad sigh, and this was not unheard by the other 3 or Pikachu, who looked up at her. So with Pikachu being a Pokemon, Pikachu could already tell that something was wrong with her since Pokemon are more in touch with nature, and the earth, and how humans felt. It was how a Pokemon could tell how their trainers felt and their emotions, too, and Pikachu knew something was making Sakura sad. Misty just looked over to her, and soon noticed that something was wrong too. Hey Sakura, what's wrong? Misty asked as she walked over to her. Sakura just gave a weak smile at her friend. Nothing, Misty, so don't worry about it. I'm just thinking about something, is all, she lied, not wanting to tell her that right now she missed home and her family. Naruto knew that she was lying right now. He could tell by looking at her face that she missed her family. He didn't know how right he was about that, but what Naruto could say to Sakura was a promise that he would find a way to get them both home, but that was harder said than done. He didn't know how he and Sakura were going even to find a way home. Naruto and Sakura knew they might be trapped here for the rest of their lives. Naruto looked at the ground at first, and then after a few minutes, he looked at Sakura to see a lone tear trail down her face. You miss your family, don't you, Sakura-chan? Naruto asked her. Both Ash and Misty were shocked at this, while Pikachu just looked at the 2 ninjas, only saying, Pika, Pikachu said to both of them. Sakura just looked at Naruto before she nodded. Yeah, I miss them so much right now. I mean, everyone back home could think that we're dead, Sakura told them, trying to make sure no more tears come out of her eyes. But none of us know that, Sakura. They could be looking for us right now, Naruto told her with a smile. Before she could say anything, they heard a small cry that was not far from where they were. Soon all 4 humans and Pikachu went over to see what was going on. When they got to the noise, coming from behind a bush, they saw a Pidgey. When Sakura saw it, she got out her Pokédex. Pidgey has an extremely sharp sense of direction. It is capable of unerringly returning home to its nest. However far it may get removed from its familiar surroundings. Sakura then looked over at the Pidgey and saw that its wing was hurt. So she went over to the injured Pidgey slowly, as she saw it look at her. Sakura, be careful. It might hurt you since it's hurt right now, Naruto told her, worried that she might get hurt. She only looked back at him and smiled. Don't worry, Naruto, I'll be fine, trust me, she told him before moving forward towards the Pidgey. The Pidgey, on the other hand, just looked at Sakura, thinking what this human was doing until she saw this human kneel in front of her. Hi, my name's Sakura. I'm not going to hurt you, okay? I only want to help you, Pidgey, Sakura told the little Pidgey. The female Pidgey merely looked at the human before she nodded and let Sakura pick her up so that she could fix her wing. Once Pidgey was in her arms, Sakura looked over at her friends, thinking about what they should do. Next, they already knew that they had to find help for the Pidgey. It was then that the four heard another noise, and it was Spearow coming right at them, and Naruto knew that it wanted the Pidgey. But he saw that it was injured too, not as bad as the Pidgey. Naruto wouldn't let the Spearow hurt Pidgey any more than it already was. Naruto just smiled at this. "Hey, Ash, want to help me out here?" Naruto asked with a smile. Ash just smiled at this, as did Pikachu, who had sparks coming out of his red cheeks. "Pika!" Pikachu yelled at the Spearow. However, the Spearow didn't care what was going on as it just continued to look at the Pidgey. It was then that Misty and Ash knew what the Spearow wanted the Pidgey in Sakura arms. After all, the two birds never got along that well together. The Spearow, however, just hovered in the air looking at the four humans thinking what to do next. It was then that its eyes saw the Ting Pidgey and cried at everyone before it gave a dive towards Sakura. Sakura saw that the Spearow had just dived towards her and knew it wanted to help the poor thing in her arms even more. Sakura was determined not to let anything happen to Pidgey. She just kept her eyes on the Spearow. Misty had already come running over to Sakura, wanting to protect her from the Spearow as well as to help Sakura in any way she could. On the other hand, Ash had been ready with Pikachu waiting for any order Ash might ask him to do. Ash and Pikachu both knew that Spearow didn't care who it was facing right now. After all, the last one didn't care that Pikachu could beat it, which the little yellow mouse had done. Naruto, on the other hand, couldn't help but smile at this. "Wow, I would love a Pokemon that never gives up," Naruto thought with a smile on his face. Sakura had also seen the look that Naruto had on his face since she has seen it many times back home. "Naruto, I know that look all too well. You want that Spearow," Sakura thought as she looked at him. Spearow then went on the attack, and Naruto saw that Sakura and Misty would get hurt. "No, Sakura-chan, Misty, you need to get out of there," Naruto yelled as he ran towards her. On the other hand, Ash was ready as he looked down at Pikachu with a smile, while Pikachu just smiled back. However, the Spearow just gave a loud squawk at the humans before using its peck on Pikachu, which Pikachu managed to dodge and ready to attack the bird back. Ash, on the other hand, was now ready. "Alright, Pikachu, use Thunder Shock on Spearow," Ash yelled. With that, Pikachu used his Thunder Shock on the Spearow. However, Naruto found himself caught up in the attack. Both Naruto and Spearow screamed at this, and it wasn't long before Spearow and falling to the ground. On the other hand, Naruto has just collapsed to the ground as well, while one of Naruto's poke balls that had on him went flying out of his hand and hit the Spearow. Naruto and the others only watched as Spearow tried to get free, but with no luck at all since the little red light on the poke ball soon stopped, while Naruto just smiled that he had a new Pokemon. Naruto just got up and ran over towards his poke ball and picked it up. "Alright, I got a new Pokemon," Naruto yelled with joy while Sakura and Misty just laughed at this. On the other hand, Ash was worried that he and Pikachu had hurt Naruto, so the two ran up to the blonde. "Hey Naruto, are you alright? I didn't know that Pikachu's attack was going to hit you like that," Ash said, but Naruto just smiled. "It's alright after I had a lot worse back home since both Sakura and I are ninjas," Naruto told Ash with a smile. With that, everyone went off to the closest Pokemon Center that they could find to help Pidgey get some rest. It was a good thing that they had found one on the side of the road. Misty said it's because most trainers would need their Pokemon healed after leaving the Viridian Forest. When they saw the Pokemon Center, Sakura started running as fast as possible to the poor Pokemon Center. Everyone was shocked that she moved quickly, even Naruto, but he couldn't help but smile that Sakura wanted to help the little Pidgey. "Wow, Sakura sure wants to save that Pidgey," Ash said with a smile. On the other hand, Sakura was making her way to the center's front door. Once at the front door, Sakura quickly went to the front desk. The nurse Joy at the front desk looked at Sakura, running into the room, and went right up to her. "I need your help," but when she saw who it was, Sakura stopped. "Nurse Joy, what are you doing here, she asked. The nurse just gave a light laugh. "Oh, you must have met my baby sister in Viridian City then, so that must make you Sakura then," Joy said with a smile before she looked at the small Pidgey still in her arm. "Oh, what happened to the poor thing?" she asked. Sakura just looked at the small Pidgey. "Well, you see, me and my friends were just walking down the road talking when we heard this noise," Sakura said as she looked back up to Nurse Joy. "And then we found the little Pidgey. I think that its wing might be hurt," Sakura said with concern. Nurse Joy just looked at the little Pokemon and smiled. "Don't worry, I'll take care of the poor thing," Joy said with a smile. She took the Pidgey from Sakura and went into the back room, while Sakura just went to sit down. By this time, the rest of the group had arrived at the center and saw that Sakura was sitting down, waiting to see how Pidgey was. "Hey, Sakura-chan, how Pidgey doing?" Naruto asked with a smile. "Oh, I gave her to Nurse Joy, so she should be seeing how the poor thing is right now," Sakura said before looking up at him. Sakura then noticed that he still had his headband on, as did she. She could only sigh as she took it off her head and looked at it slowly before placing it in her backpack. Naruto was looking at her. He was just so confused at what she was doing. Why did she take off her headband like that? "Sakura, what are you doing?" Naruto asked. Sakura just smiled at him. "We need to take our headbands off, Naruto," Sakura told him. However, this only made him more confused. Why they have to take them off? To Naruto it was a symbol of who and where they came from, as Naruto just looked at her even more, but he needed to know why they had to do this. He had to ask her why. "I still don't understand why we have to do this, Sakura-chan?" Naruto asked, still very confused. Sakura just looked at Naruto, then Ash and Misty before talking to them. "If we don't, then more people will ask what they are. We can't let them know what the two of us can do, Naruto," Sakura said, looking down at the floor. Misty also knew what Sakura was trying to tell him, and she knew that it would be too dangerous to keep them on. Misty just looked over to Ash, and knew that he was thinking of the same thing right now. Ash knew that Sakura was right with Team Rocket. Now following them could quickly get them, or at least know who they were with the headbands on. Naruto just looked at Sakura and knew that she was right. They had to keep their identities safe from everyone they would see. It pained Naruto to do this, but it was for the best, after all, so he slowly took his leaf headband off. "Don't worry, Naruto, when we find a way back home, then we can put them back on again," Sakura said with a smile. Naruto just walked over to the window and looked outside. "I wonder what's going on back home right now?" Naruto asked. Sakura only smiled at him. "Me too, but I'm sure that everything is fine," Sakura said as she joined him at the window. "I hope they are okay." Meanwhile, back in Konoha, it had been 3 days since both Naruto and Sakura have disappeared. Everyone did their best to look for them all over the Land of Fire, thinking they could be anywhere. Even Gaara decided to help find Naruto and Sakura since Naruto had done so much for him. Gaara wanted to repay the favor in finding him. But nothing at all, not even a trace of Naruto or Sakura. Everyone was getting worried about what had happened to their friends. In those 3 days of looking for their friends, Sasuke was happy that they were gone but never showed it. He was glad that Naruto was no longer in his way, and he could now be the top ninja again, and as for Sakura, she was also out of his hair, hopeful for good since he would not have to hear her anymore. He never showed this to anyone else and only pretended he wanted to find them, but he didn't care. At this time, everyone was in Tsunade's office. The remaining Konoha 12 and their teachers, the Sand siblings, and Sakura's parents were waiting. Ino looked over at Sakura's parents, seeing them crying so hard, worried that their only child was most likely dead. They heard what happened on top of the hospital's roof and how Naruto tried to save Sakura but failed. Then, Tsunade came into the room with Jiraiya, and Shizen came walking into the room. Both Mr. and Mrs. Haruna looked over at Tsunade, hoping that the three had any news on their daughter, but it would be a slim chance that they would have found them. "Lady Hokage, have you found them yet?" Mrs. Haruna asked with the sound of hope in her voice. Tsunade only shook her head. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Haruno, but no," she told her. Just as they were about to go on, a blinding light sweat all over Konoha. No one could tell what was going on. Everyone in the room was just shocked at what was going on. All they could think about was where did that light come from in the first place. Just then, a Jounin came running into the room in a panicking. "Lady Tsunade, we need to come with us right now. There is something on the training grounds," the Jounin told Tsunade. Tsunade just looked over at the Jounin, confused at what he was telling her, but she knew that she had to find out what scared him. Everyone just followed Tsunade to the training grounds. As they started to get closer, they all saw something big. It looked huge, with a white body with a gray, vertically striated underside, the pattern of which has similar recurrences on the bottom. But that was all they could see as the trees were blocking the rest of the body. Once they got to the location, everyone looked up at the monster in front of them. Other Jounin were there. But they didn't know what they should do. They were just too scared at what this thing could be. Everyone in Konoha is worried. They thought it was a tailed beast, one that none knew about it. If so, what can it do? When Tsunade arrived with the others, the monster just looked down at them with its green eyes. "Hello, humans of Konoha. My name is Arceus," the creature said to the frightened humans. Most of the ninja were shocked at what was going on, and that somehow it talked to them without moving its mouth. Ino was surprised at how it was talking to her, while others just looked at Arceus. Tsunade just looked up at Arceus. What is it that you want, Arceus? Tsunade asked, looking at the Pokémon but not knowing what it was yet. Arceus merely looked at the human. He could tell that they were all scared of him, and he understood why. Arceus knew that the humans in this world had never heard of Pokémon before, and from the looks they had on them, they didn't trust him at all. I don't mean you any harm, Tsunade, Arceus said to her while the others were shocked at her. This thing knows her name. Tsunade just looked at Arceus. How is it that you know my name? She asked, not taking her eyes away from him. Since Arceus didn't have any way to smile, it just gave an eye smile. Why, Naruto and Sakura told me that's why, he said to them. Everyone was shocked at hearing their friends' names getting spoken out by this creature, while Mr. and Mrs. Haruno had tears in their eyes. They were happy that their little girl was alright and alive, but how did this thing know her? While this was going on, Niji used his Byakugan to see what this thing was but was shocked. You guys, this thing chakra is like nothing I've ever seen anything like it. Niji yelled in shock. Everyone else just looked at Arceus, shocked that it had so much power. Even the others could see that Niji was not lying. However, Sasuke smiled at the power. He knew that he could use this to get what he wanted. However, Arceus could tell what Sasuke was thinking and didn't like it at all. Yes, I know them. I even talked to them not that long ago. He told them before they even had time to ask Arceus. Tsunade once again looked up at Arceus. What are you anyway? I'm sure that you're no-tailed demon, otherwise we would all be dead right now, she said, not once looking away. You're right, I am not even from this world. I come from a world far away, another dimension you could say. Everyone was shocked at what Arceus said. Mrs. Haruno then walked over to Arceus. How is she? She asked with hope in her eyes. Like Sakura, she also had pink hair and green eyes. She is fine and safe alone with Naruto, Arceus said to Mrs. Haruno. When everyone heard this, they all smiled or gave a small sigh of relief that the two were alright. Everyone, that is but Sasuke, since the last Uchiha, was angry that Naruto was still alive and knew this thing and that Sakura was alive. However, this made Sasuke madder, hoping that the two would no longer be in his way anymore. So, what are you then if you're not a tailed demon? Ino asked, wanting to know what this Arceus was. Well, I am what the humans back home call a Pokemon, he told Ino. Shikamaru just looked over at Arceus with wonder in his eyes. All he could do was look at the Pokemon. While Arceus told everyone what a Pokemon was and telling them, he was just one of so many legendary Pokemon. However, this only went on as he told them more about the Pokemon world and the people that lived there. You may also be wondering how I was able to get to your world. Well, I am known as the god Pokemon in my world, and coming here is easy for me, Arceus told the group. After this, everyone just looked at Arceus, while Sasuke was even angrier than before. So, can you send them home then? Choji asked the god Pokemon. I'm sorry, but I can't do that, you see, Arceus said, but was then quickly cut off by Mr. Haruno. What do you mean that you can't send them home? You have the power to do, so you said you are Pokemon God, so why? He yelled. He was not happy that his girl was stuck in a world so far away. Because they are to help the Chosen One saves the world many times over, Arceus said to Mr. Haruno. What do Naruto-kun and Sakura-san have to do? Hinata asked. Arceus then showed the ninjas in front of him who Ash was, and they were all shocked seeing a 10-year-old boy with a hat on his head. He also had what they thought was a yellow rat. Next to the boy was a girl with red hair and a side ponytail. They didn't know who they were, but it must mean something. Kakashi just looked at the two and saw them smiling at each other. So, who are they? The copy ninja asked. The boy with that hat and Pikachu is called Ash Ketchum, and the girl next to him is Misty Waterflower. They are both important to the world of Pokemon, he told them. And how are they, my daughter and Naruto, going to help them? Mrs. Haruno asked with confusion on her face as she looked at Misty and Ash. When Ash first started his quest to become a Pokemon Master, he saw Ho, as did Misty and Naruto and Sakura. All four are now connected in so many ways and will save the world many times, Arceus told her, but he wasn't close to finish talking to them yet. As for Misty, will save Ash's life and already has. Now, as for why they are there and how they are going to help them. It is simple, and it is because of who Naruto is and what he has in him, Arceus said, while all the younger ones didn't know what the god was saying apart from Gaara and his brother and sister. The rest all started to understand what Arceus was saying. Yes, as you know, with what he has will help Ash in a time of great need, such as saving the world thanks to all the power he has, such as his shadow clones and other powers that he has inside too. As for Sakura, she will help Ash get smarter. Along with Misty, But she is also there to help Misty out, too, Arceus told them. The rest know what Arceus was trying to say to them, that Sakura would help this Misty get together with Ash. I will even show you what they will have to face later on, Arceus said as his eyes went blue while everyone just looked around and saw a battle arena with Pokemon on the ground and in pain. So they looked around them, and even in the sky, they saw two Pokemon fighting each other until they hit the ground with that dust went everywhere. It was then that everyone looked over to see Sakura and blood going down her right arm. Sakura-chan, you alright? Naruto asked, walking over to her. Sakura just looked at him. I'm fine, Naruto, Sakura said with a smile. She then looked over to Ash. We need to stop this before Mutuo kills all of us. Naruto yelled in anger as he looked at his Pokemon hurt. I know, but what can we do? Misty asked. I don't honestly know. Sakura was quickly cut off as she saw Ash running right towards the two blasts that Mew and Mutuo had created. She wanted to run over to stop him, as did Naruto, but Mutuo had blocked their chakra. All anyone could do was watch as they saw Sakura hold the Misty girl back with tears in her eyes. It was then that Arceus changed the scene, and everyone saw dark clouds this time. They could only see Sakura and Misty, this time alone with a girl and a boy with green hair. Take this, legend or not. Ash can't do this alone, the girl said. No, you have to play Lygia's song. And Ash is never really alone because he's got me, Misty said with a smile on her face as she shook the brown-haired girl's hand. Sakura laughed lightly. Yeah, and that little baka has me too. With that, the two went off to save Ash and Naruto. You must truly love him, don't you, Misty? Sakura asked. Misty only blushed at this. Yeah, I do, but I could say the same about your love life, Sakura, Misty said with a smile, while Sakura just blushed until they saw Ash and Naruto both unconscious and in the sea. After Arceus showed them this, he soon returned everyone to the training ground. Everyone was quite shocked at what they had seen. Most were shocked at how much their two friends had changed so much, while Sasuke was just angry at the two that they would save the world so many times in the future. As you can see, they helped them a lot in their time. Sakura even helped an injured Pidgey, too, Arceus told them. Everyone but Sasuke smiled at this, while Mr. and Mrs. Haruno wondered who Sakura was in love with, but they had a little gut feeling about who it could be since there were only two boys she could know so well while in the Pokemon world. Can you send any of us there then? Ino asked. I mean, I want to help them out the best that I can, and I'm sure the rest of us want to help out too, Ino said to Arceus. Everyone there yelled yeah to Arceus, but Tsunade knew that it was not that simple as only Naruto and Sakura were the only ones sent to this Pokemon world. I'm afraid that I can't do that, as it is already too dangerous for those two, as Team Rocket knows what they can do, Arceus said as he went on to tell them about Team Rocket. But I will say this. They will come back one day as time moves faster back home. Arceus then looked down at the Harunos. Sakura wanted me to tell you that she is fine and that she misses you both, Arceus said before looking over at Sasuke. The god Pokemon was about to go when he looked at Sasuke again. Oh yes, before I go, Naruto wanted me to say this to Sasuke, you're still a team. I don't know why he wanted me to say that, Arceus said before leaving everyone and a pissed-off Sasuke. Everyone was just shocked and happy at the same time as they heard that the two were alive. Most of the younger generation wanted to go to this world to help out, but the teachers told them no as they knew that this could be a one-way thing for all of them, and they could be trapped there for good. Sakura's parents were just happy that Sakura was okay. That's all the two wanted to know. You know, as long as they stick together, I'm sure they'll both be fine, Mrs. Haruno said with a smile. But I'm still worried about what danger they will face. Meanwhile, back with Naruto and Sakura, the two waited to see how the little Pidgey was doing. It had been at least 2 hours since they had arrived at the Pokemon Center. Sakura was worried about the small Pokemon, while Naruto and the others just looked at her, seeing the look forming on her face. Naruto wanted to help Sakura. Hey Sakura-chan, why don't we go and have a battle outside with our Pokemon, Naruto said with a smile. Sakura just looked at him and smiled, and she knew that Naruto was trying to take her mind off what was going on with Pidgey right now. Thanks, Naruto. I think I will if it will take my mind off things, she said as the two went outside, followed by Ash and Misty. The two ninjas smiled as they moved in opposite directions. Hey Misty, can you be the judge of our match? Sakura asked. Misty only smiled. Sure, I don't mind you too, Misty said to them with a smile. With that said, both Naruto and Sakura both got their only Pokemon out, ready for battle. Alright, then this is a one-on-one match between Naruto and Sakura. Begin, Misty yelled. Alright then, go, Metapod! Sakura yelled as she throws her Pokeball. In a flash of white light, her Metapod came out. Naruto, on the other hand, just smiled at her. Well then, Sakura-chan, it's my turn, go, Weedle! Naruto yelled with a grin as Weedle came out of it, Pokeball. Alright, Naruto, I'm ready when you are, Sakura told him. Alright, Weedle used Poison Sting on Metapod, Naruto said, and with the command, Weedle rushed at Metapod with the stinger on its head. Sakura, on the other hand, saw this coming and waited for the right moment. Alright, Metapod, use Harden right now! Sakura yelled while Metapod used Harden just as Weedle hit Metapod with its stinger. Weedle was thrown back by Metapod using Harden. Naruto was shocked at how fast Sakura had her Metapod react to his Weedle. But he only smiled at her as he got ready for Weedle to use another attack on Metapod, and Sakura was preparing for whatever Naruto had for her. While on the sidelines, both Ash and Misty only watched as they saw their two friends battle it out together, making them smile. Wow, this is a good match. Right, Misty? Ash asked as he looked over to her. Misty only smiled and nodded her head at him. You're right, Ash. Even if they never learned about Pokemon, they're learning fast, she said as she looked at the two. Just then, Weedle tried to use Poison Sting once again, only for Metapod to start evolving in the middle of the match. Soon a Butterfree came out of Metapod's old shell and started to fly around trying to get used to her new wings, and Sakura could only smile as she watched her new Butterfree with a smile. She knew that it was a female because of the black spots on the lower parts of her wings. As Sakura smiled, Naruto knew that this was bad. He needed to find a way to beat Sakura's newly evolved Butterfree. But Naruto knew that he would find a way to win this no matter what, but then again, he didn't mind if Sakura won this battle. Alright then, Naruto, time for me and Butterfree to show you what we got. Butterfree used Sleep Powder, Sakura yelled with a smile. Weedle, dodge it! Naruto yelled as he saw the sleep powder getting closer to his Weedle. However, luck was on Naruto's side as Weedle just managed to get out of the way as Butterfree's sleep powder hit where Weedle was. Alright, good job, Weedle! Naruto yelled with a happy grin. It was then that Naruto was shocked as Weedle looked at Naruto and smiled with its eyes before going white. Everyone was shocked at what was going on as they watched Weedle evolve into Kakuna. Naruto was happy that his Weedle had evolved but knew that this battle had become harder, as he knows that Kakuna doesn't move until they evolve into Beedrill. The two were about to go on until Nurse Joy came outside to see everyone. How are you all doing? Nurse Joy asked as she watches as Naruto recalled Kakuna. Sakura, seeing Nurse Joy, went running over to her. Nurse Joy, how's Pidgey doing? She asked. Nurse Joy only smiled as she told Sakura to follow her as they walked back to the Pokemon Center. Well, apart from the wing, she just fine, Joy said as they walked into the center. Nurse Joy leads Sakura to where Pidgey was resting while Naruto, Ash, and Misty waited outside for Sakura to return. I hope that Pidgey will be alright, Misty said with hope in her voice as she and Ash both went over to sit down while they wait for Sakura to come back out. Don't worry, Misty. I'm sure that Pidgey will be fine. I mean, Nurse Joy said so herself. I hope Sakura is alright. She looked anxious about Pidgey, Ash said as he looked over at the door where Sakura had gone. Naruto was pacing in front of the two waiting for Sakura to come out of the room. He hoped that Sakura would be alright leaving here soon. He was happy that the Pidgey was alright now. Naruto didn't like waiting around for so long. I hope she will be okay. Meanwhile, Sakura looked over at the sleeping Pidgey with a smile, happy that she helped the little Pokemon out. It's a good thing that you found it, Sakura. If you didn't, another Pokemon would have found it, or a trainer, not as kind as you or your friends, Joy said with a smile. Sakura, on the other hand, just looked at Pidgey and smiled. She had grown attached to the little Pokemon. Well, I guess I better go then. I hope that you're up and flying soon, Pidgey, Sakura said with a smile as Pidgey looked up at her, and then Pidgey watched as she saw Sakura leave the room. Pidgey just continued to watch as Sakura left the room. On the other side of the door, Sakura walked up to her friends with a sad smile. Alright then guys, I guess we better get going if we want to get to Pewter City, she told them, still fake smiling, masking her hurt. However, Naruto saw this little fake smile that she showed them and was worried for Sakura, thinking he needed to say something. Hey Sakura-chan, are you alright? Naruto asked as he looked at her. Sakura just looked at him as she held back her tears. Oh, I'm fine, Naruto, just happy that Pidgey is going to be alright, she said. Both Misty and Ash also looked at her. They even knew that she didn't want to go. She helped Pidgey out so much that Sakura didn't want to leave her. Ash knew that he would feel the same way with his Pokemon too. After all, Ash loved his 3 Pokemon and his friends well. Though with Misty, Ash didn't count her as a friend, just someone following him because of a bike. Sakura, on the other hand, was now walking towards the front doors of the Pokemon Center. She was about to open the door when she heard the sound of Pidgey calling to her, and Sakura just looked back at the little Pidgey as shocked. The four just looked at the little Pidgey as they saw her walk over towards Sakura. They were all confused at what was going on right now until they heard Nurse Joy laughing lightly. "I think that Pidgey wants to come with you, Sakura," Joy said with a smile. Sakura just looked down at Pidgey with shock. "Is that true, Pidgey? Do you want to come with me and be my Pokémon?" Sakura asked. The little Pidgey just smiled at her before chirping at her. "Pidgey," she said, also nodding her head at Sakura. Sakura herself just smiled as she started to cry. Naruto just looked at her and smiled. He knew that the tears he saw were tears of joy. Even Ash and Misty were happy that the little Pidgey wanted to go with Sakura and that this would be a happy ending for Sakura and the little Pidgey. Sakura just smiled as she got out a Pokeball. "Alright then, Pokeball, go!" Sakura yelled as she throws her Pokeball at Pidgey. The second that the Pokeball hit Pidgey, the little bird Pokemon was quickly and without any trouble sucked inside. The Pokeball then started to wiggle. However, this didn't only last a little while until it soon stopped when the bottom of the Pokeball went red. Sakura just smiled as she looked at her new Pokemon. "Alright, I got a Pidgey!" she yelled with a big grin on her face. She then started to walk over to the Pokeball, picking it up as Sakura smiled once again and looked at Naruto and the others. "Alright, guys, let's get going to Pewter City," Naruto yelled as he started to run outside of the Pokemon Center. Everyone else just started running after him, telling him to wait for him, but Naruto didn't stop and just kept running ahead of them. What if Naruto was Pokémon Ninja Trainers harem? End here and thanks for watching my video till the end.